Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line. We are live back for another week. We're talking UFC Las Vegas. I'm reading all over the internet, people calling it UFC Vegas 71, UFC Las Vegas. I have no fucking idea right now what the legit name is. For this one, we went UFC Las Vegas just to mix things up. I'm AJ, joined as always by my guy, Mike Finch. What's happening, my friend?
I'm doing good in the neighborhood, brother. Just drilled some leg locks yesterday with Charles Harriott, the jiu-jitsu globetrotter himself. So good to have some jiu-jitsu royalty over at UFC Gym Huntington Beach. We filmed a ton of content. I dropped a little bit of it on my Instagram story. I'll throw it up on YouTube for all you savages. I'm working. We did a half-hour interview with him. So we sat down, we talked jiu-jitsu. We talked about, if Sambo were easy, it'd be called jiu-jitsu t-shirts. We talked about all that shit. So we'll go into it, and I got a lot of editing to do. All right, I need to hire an editor. Jump in my email if you want. If you want to edit my shit, because I hate this. But I'm going to edit that down, and we're going to get this stuff up. So dropping some content this week. Excited about it, and I'm going to drill those leg locks tonight, Charles. So I'll get my own reps in. Okay, I learned a lot though, so it's been fun, man. How are you, AJ? Did you have fun going live? I drank a little bit on your live show. We had a good time.
Yeah, bro, I was exhausted by the time you came in. I said, Finch, I got 15 minutes. I got to get out of here. But yeah, man.
With all the energy. I've been hanging out all day. I was chilling.
I was like, holy shit, we're going to have to go deeper today and talk some UFC 285. But hey, man, I'm good. I had a tremendous weekend. I'm very happy about UFC 285. You guys know, if you've been watching, it was fucking epic for me to see Jon Jones capture the title. The live stream was also popping, a ton of people up in here. It was a lot of fun, man. So yeah, I had a blast, and I'm looking forward to doing it all over again this week, every day, bro. I have not taken a day off in posting for probably a month now, bro. I don't know the exact stat, but a while. Yeah,
you're a savage for that. Yeah, our old producer Billy Barnes always wanted me to post every day. I don't know. It's hard, bro. It is not easy to do what AJ does. AJ is consistent as fuck. You got to appreciate the grind. You guys will see me on Mondays, but the rest of the week, I'm ripping a bong. I'm at the beach. I'm doing my thing. You know, AJ, he's in here hustling. Okay, he might rip a bong live on his show even, but he's in here hustling. So you got to appreciate the grind. I do.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. Listen, let's quickly recap the card because it was a tremendous one. I'm very excited to see now with Jon Jones as the heavyweight champion. How easy he made it is still amazing to me. I went back and rewatched the fight about 4 times. I showed it to my 90-year-old grandfather. I said, this is the best martial artist of all time. It's not Bruce Lee. This is the guy right here. And it was beautiful, man. The grappling skill set Jon Jones has, I think, is better at heavyweight because he's so fucking heavy and strong. On the feet, he's feeling it out. But I heard some things. He didn't spar more than 3 times the whole camp after being off that long. So it would make sense. You know, he had to get his footing standing up. Listen, he was backing Ciryl Gane up. He caught him with a good jab. I think Gane was terrified when he actually got in there with Jon Jones because he was very worried about the ground game. Why? Because I don't think Ciryl Gane adapted to the wrestling. I really don't think he put in the proper work. And it's not that he didn't try. I just don't think in Paris, France, you're going to find a wrestler near the level of Jon Jones. So what happens after the fight? Did you see this, Mike Finch? Habib Nurmagomedov says, Ciryl, come to Dagestan. Come to Dagestan. Yeah. So that to me is very interesting. If Ciryl Gane wants to be a champion, you should definitely take the offer.
Wasn't that a while ago? That's not recent, is it? Wasn't that an old video?
Was that? I thought it was brand new. I thought it was just recent.
I thought that was after he lost to Francis Ngannou.
Maybe it was. Maybe I just saw it. Somebody reposted it then. I saw it on Instagram not more than 20 minutes before.
If I'm not mistaken, I had seen that many moons ago. okay, like when John Jones comes out there, right? AJ is hyping him up on the show. AJ's going, you're going to be impressed by his striking. John throws the slowest left hook I have ever seen in my life. He's exaggerating. In seconds, we got to see him strike. He looked like the worst striker in the heavyweight division. He looked terrible. And then what happens? I think Ciryl came forward with an elbow. John Jones comes in, does a body lock, and then the whole roles reverse. John Jones, with no problem at all, throws Ciryl down on his hands and just starts dominating him. And Cyryl's response, what was it, dude? When somebody grabs your back in wrestling, you want to lean into them and you want to fight the hands. So you put your two thumbs on the inside of their hands and you pop your hip forward. Your hips are sharp. You put one forward, you put your thumbs towards the point of that hip, and you thrust your hip forward. What did Ciryl do? He melted. He melted as soon as John Jones got a hold of him. So I saw a very drastic skill difference here. I think Ciryl was going to be way better on the feet, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because John Jones is so good at wrestling and Ciryl is so not good at wrestling that he just ran right through him, dude. Okay, I saw you didn't like what I said there. I
disagree. I disagree
with
the
telling
stand-up.
me you liked what you saw with John Jones out there? Because I'll tell you what, John Jones didn't like it. John Jones said, quote, I felt weird out there. John Jones said, quote, I only sparred 3 times in this training camp. Who was telling you that John Jones striking was going to be shit? Unfortunately, it didn't matter. But AJ, he said he felt weird. It didn't look weird to you?
And listen, here's my take on it. This is my opinion. He's fighting at heavyweight for the first time, not sparring a ton. He still had Ciryl Gane backing up. He still was able to recover his stance fairly well after he was very inaccurate with his punches, besides that straight shot. But I do feel like if you look at the footwork and the movement, the first time I watched it, I was like, damn, that looked terrible. I rewatched it and I'm like, all right, let me give John Jones a break and I'll compare him to an average scale of heavyweights. And like, if you look at the heavyweight division, I honestly think he's outstriking a lot of these guys. They're too slow for him. Even as slow as he looked, I think it's because we're so used to light heavyweight Jones. So we're expecting maybe quicker. He looks solid. I think he kickboxes Ciryl Gane. He loses an 8-round decision if they did it like that or some shit. But I think I think he could strike with Ciryl Gane, especially now that he's going to be back in training camp immediately for the Stipe fight. I expect a better striking performance for Jones. Was it the best striking I've ever seen? No, but like he still backed him up. He hit him with the straight. It was like, it was weird though. Like Ciryl Gane looked like he didn't know what to do. He was terrified of John Jones. He was terrified of John.
He was terrified of him, and as soon as John Jones got a hold of him, he just wilted, man. It was just the wrestling responses were not there. He wasn't reacting. You know, when you're wrestling with somebody, the timing and the reactions are everything. You need to immediately address problems. Ciryl looked like he was asleep when he was wrestling with John. And then when you got that guillotine in too, Cyril's back was on the fence, not the best place to defend. But what you want to do is you want to turn your chin into the body. I think he was on the other side. You want to turn your chin into the body so you expose one artery and your windpipe. He didn't even do that much. You want to take your free hand, you want to come through, grab the wrist and expose your artery. He didn't do that. You could take the other hand, jack up an underhook, get a body lock, or come over the top like Tito Ortiz used to do, wrap the back, go underneath, grab through, and then you could actually start wrestling from that position. He didn't do any of that stuff. He just tapped. It was very strange how he didn't react to the grappling. It looked like the worst grappling performance I've seen from him. And I thought we had definitely already seen that with obviously the last title fight. So there's a lot of questions there. It's not just that he was bad at grappling. He didn't even grapple. Just to put a cherry on top of what you were saying there, you think that he'll fight better with Stipe? Well, first of all, I don't think Stipe is as good of a kickboxer as Ciryl, so I think it'll be more competitive naturally. And John Jones getting that ring rust off, you know, he was able to go out there, be nervous, make that walk. He said he was nervous. He made that walk. He was able to get in the cage, execute. That's a big deal, and that will make him feel more comfortable in the future here. Ciryl let him off the hook, man. Ciryl had a moment where we could have seen, you know, what John Jones striking looked like. We didn't even get to. So, you know, at the end of the day, it didn't matter because Jones ran him over like he was standing on a train track.
Yeah, that was a fucking one-sided fight. That Ciryl Gane, I really think it's like he almost doesn't want to get dirty in there. Like, I know he had a scrap with Tai Tuivasa, but like in close. There's nothing. Like there's no, to me, there wasn't any oomph to it. He's like, oh shit, let me try and defend. It looked like very, I want to say like low level grappling mixed with a guy that's being tentative. Like he's almost like he's rolling, you know? And I think that's probably because he doesn't have the rounds in with the jiu-jitsu. I think he probably needs to dial in and move to Dagestan for 6 months. Because if he's actually serious about being a champion, if he goes to Dagestan, if that option is still available, and then you put him back out there with improved wrestling, I see him out kickboxing the whole division. He's tremendous. I mean, I look at Ciryl Gane as, you know, a top 3, top 4 heavyweight. I think he'd run into problems with Curtis Blades, to be 100% honest. If Blades got a hold of him, is Gane going to be able to keep him at distance? And he's not going to flash knock him out. So I'd lean Blades over him. Tom Aspinall, tremendous grappler. That's a hard fight. Pavlovich and him is more even because Pavlovich ground skills is iffy.
That's the worst fight for him is Tom Aspinall. Dude, Aspinall could
bad.
whoop Cyril's ass, dude.
I think he loses to Tom and Curtis Blades right now. Pavlovich is an unknown. But like, if you're Ciryl Gane, you need to close this extreme hole. It's John Jones is going to beat you like that because he's the fucking best. But other guys are going to take him down and control him. And I don't want to see Ciryl Gane go on this fucking skid of 3-fight losing streak and fade out and lose faith in himself because it's just one area that needs work. I don't think he'll ever beat John Jones though. I think that unfortunately John Jones just is going to have his number. He could go to Dagestan for 5 years and John Jones will still take him out, but it might help him against some of these other guys to get back in the title picture.
Before we went live, AJ's like, we'll do the main event quick, but if you want to, I like this one. It's about a Sub-Zero, GSP still the GOAT. I was interested in having this debate with you. So it sounds like from what you told your grandfather, you believe that John Jones, like Dana White and everybody else, is the GOAT now. He cemented it. True?
Yeah, absolutely.
From my opinion, I think that George St. Pierre has never thrown a left hook that looked that bad. Anderson Silva has never thrown a punch. Anderson Silva goofs around a lot. But besides that, he's never thrown a strike that looked that bad. I think heavyweight John Jones might be a little one-dimensional. I think there's more to see. As to where with a GSP, as Sub-Zero says here, my favorite character from Mortal Kombat. I dressed up as Sub-Zero when I was like 10 years old. So shout out Sub-Zero. I definitely think that, I want to see a little more because from what I've seen, it was not the Dominic Reyes striking where he should have lost that decision. It was worse. So I want to see what Stipe does with him. I have no idea who I'll pick for that fight, to be honest. It sounds like everybody's about to pick John Jones. I don't know who I will pick for that fight. That's a much better fight.
Dude, I gotta say, I watched the Reyes fight. I think he won. I rewatched it.
Oh,
I think he won 3 rounds to 2. But I get the reason when you watch it, because I'd go back and rewatch it. You're gonna be like, if you look at it like the even playing field, I think it's like the people that are all over. Islam definitely lost to Volkanovski. I get that argument more because of the finish too. But when I watch Jones Reyes, I'm like, oh, he definitely took 4-5. He took the second round. Third's close. First, I see Reyes for sure. So like, I don't know. I think it was more like in the moment, it was just such the shock of Reyes being competitive. But that doesn't matter to me. John Jones, the GOAT, reason being he's never been beaten inside of the octagon. GSP lost. The other guys, they've lost before. I think GSP is right up there. If you talk about like greatest martial artist ever, forget about just talking about, wins, losses, like GSP and him are right there. Like George St. Pierre also won the belt up a weight class. His skill set was tremendous. He what's crazy about GSP too is he's a dominant wrestler without a wrestling background, which I've always found tremendous, man.
Right? The best wrestler, the best takedowns in the game without a wrestling background. And John Jones, just a junior college wrestler, and he's the best too. You can't be serious. Is Rampage retired yet? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, he's been in the gym working out, dude. I've seen Rampage at UFC Gym Huntington Beach twice now. He's been lifting weights, and dude, he looks like he's getting kind of jacked, bro. He looks like he's trying to do something. He's been on everybody's podcast recently. He's been out and about, man. Keep your eyes out for John Jones. I feel like he wants to get into a fist fight.
Listen, we're going to see Rampage.
John Jones, Rampage.
Yeah, listen, I thought you were going to say he wants to fight John Jones again. Listen,
he said he wants to kill John Jones. Rampage said that he's like, every time I get out of my car and I feel my knees, I want to kill that motherfucker, which I thought was pretty funny because John Jones, as Rampage said, likes to injure people. Like the way he stomps on your knees and pokes your eyes. It's like, it's brutal to fight John Jones for sure.
Let's go, man. I listen. I love it, bro. I love it. I love the beautiful violence we get with Jones. And I'm down to watch Rampage box somebody. I'd watch it. Now, I want to talk about a little bit of the co-main
Thank
event.
you, Shane.
We got to talk about this. Shevchenko, Grasso, upset. Grasso strangles Shevchenko. No more dominant champion. What a fight. It was a good performance from Shevchenko up until the end. I mean, Grasso was definitely competitive, but I got to say, I thought Shevchenko was up 2-1 in that fourth round. She was starting to find a range, and Grasso was having a hard time closing the gap. And then one fucking spinning mistake, and it's over like that. This fucking Grasso squeeze was sick, man. Like the face, the blood was not going there. It was a great squeeze. Grasso's a dog.
That's the power of jiu-jitsu. You know, you lock up a choke and it doesn't matter what else has happened. Could ask Anderson Silva when he fought Chael Sonnen, right? You lock up that triangle, you lock up that rear naked strangle. It doesn't matter what else happened. If they tap, it's over. If they pass out, it's over. Shevchenko was the better wrestler, and that was very apparent, right? She was able to out-wrestle her pretty consistently, but the striking was more competitive than people gave Alexa Grasso credit for. You know, I got in a debate at UFC Gym Huntington Beach with one of my clients where, you know, I was saying, he was saying, Alexa Grasso's jiu-jitsu is going to be nothing. Shevchenko will dominate her on the ground. I'm like, dude, her jiu-jitsu is better than ever, man. And she really showed it. Her jiu-jitsu is tight. Her chokes are tight. She's definitely leveled up. Multiple levels with her ground game. Congrats to Alexa Grasso, man. And you know what? Shevchenko started looking human against Taila Santos, and that's got to give some mental sort of confidence to her opponents where they're in there and they believe that they have a shot. They believe they can do this. They've seen it. They know they can do it. And Alexa Grasso just stayed focused and kept hunting. Dude, she rocked Shevchenko a couple times. People want to forget about that and keep talking about, you know, just the freak ending, which now I'm not talking about you, but it just in general, that's the narrative. People are sleeping on the fact that she was rocking her with punches. Like Alexa Grasso was going toe-to-toe with the champ and punching her in the face hard. It was a good fight, man.
Yeah, it was impressive. I think Shevchenko's best days are behind her. I'm going to just say that straight out. It's just, listen, I feel like when I saw it, it was Grasso looked great, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Grasso, but time has gotten to Shevchenko. We saw it a bit with Taila Santos fight. I didn't think Grasso was going to be the one to beat her. And you look at how that fight was going, it seemed like competitive decision. Shevchenko was en route to winning. I thought Aaron Blanchfield on the come up would be the nightmare matchup that gets to Shevchenko and does the strangle to her. Grasso gets it. They run it back. Interesting matchup to do again. I think it's more of a 50-50 fight this time. I think the lines could be a ton closer because Shevchenko getting a little bit more up there in age. Grasso's definitely at her athletic prime right now, and skills are looking fucking sharp, and she's just won the last one. So that rematch, that's a crazy pick. That's nothing like the odds we saw this time. This should be way closer.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you'll see that in the rematch when it does come about. Shevchenko was a little salty for me in the post-fight interview. You know, it's tough when they stick a microphone in your face and you just lost, but she was a little salty in the post-fight interview. Give her some respect. She's just so competitive. It's that Ronda Rousey thing. Everybody hated Ronda, you know, but it's the same thing. They're just so damn competitive that losing is very bitter to them. Very, very bitter pill. They don't want to swallow it. So, you know, I hope Shevchenko fixes the attitude. Come on, be humble, come back, and it'll be a great fight. It's a really well-matched fight. You know, it was very fun to watch, man. Two of the best women in the world. And congrats to Alexa Grasso. Could it happen to a nicer woman than Alexa Grasso? Yeah, come on, Alexa Grasso is awesome.
She is awesome. She's awesome, man. She's awesome. She's tremendous. Listen, I was very impressed. Shevchenko, I get why she was pissed. Because she's like, I fucking spun one mistake. Like, she sold the rematch. I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's run it right back. Let's go again. I'm interested to see them run it back. And I'm really interested to talk about this next fight, though. The feature prelim. We got to talk about this. Jeff Neal, Shavkat Rakhmonov in a fucking barn burner dog fight. Holy shit. Shavkat got tested. And he looked human. He got cracked with punches. What we do know is his punch resistance is crazy. He's in great shape. He's got a fucking huge head. He takes big punches to the chin fine. That would have dropped a lot of guys at 170. He's human, though. There's moments where he's in close and he's getting caught. He drops the hands a little. His wrestling is not as maybe good as advertised. The hype on it, we saw. Now, I've heard people talk about, no, Shavkat's wrestling is not as good as a Khamzat's, and I think it was true in this fight. I don't think it's as good as Khamzat. Yeah, but Shavkat's a good fighter. I thought it was maybe like on the way, like not as good, but like not too many pars below. But like Shavkat's wrestling is decent. He's decent wrestler. If he gets on top, he's going to be a fucking monster. He's got sneaky submissions, but the guys he's strangling are, not top 3, top 4 in the world. Jeff Neal, though, gets strangled by him with a standing choke. That was more weird. That was a wild choke. That was like a bully choke. It's like, listen,
right,
bitch, and just fucking strangles him out. Where's Shavkat go from here, Mike?
Keeps on going up, man. Now he's more on the radar, and I don't think he should go right to top contention, but right around there, man. He's in that top 10 nicely now. And this was a Khamzat Chimaev Gilbert Burns moment for Shavkat. Shavkat got tested. He had to get pushed. Maybe that air of invincibility, as my cousin Tyson was saying, is a little bit gone, right? But that's okay. They need these tests, and you saw what Khamzat did in his next fight. He just came out there and absorbed Kevin Holland, and I could see the same thing for Shavkat. He comes back, lays on a nice ass whooping in his next fight with whatever the matchup is, and he's right back into that little bit of air of invincibility or whatever you want to call it. Shavkat is one of the best fighters in the world, and he's just one of those up-and-comers who needed to be tested, and I got to see some great things from him. I saw he had a chin. I saw he had recovery. I saw he had the ability to deal with the adversity, right? You saw he had the cardio to come back from that shit. So, Neal really pressed him. Neal was lighting him up with some pretty good shots, and Shavkat rolled with it and came out with the W. What more do you want to see? If anything, I learned more. I'm more confident in betting on a Shavkat now, not less. You always see what somebody looks like when they're the hammer. I've seen Shavkat as the hammer many times, but when they have to be the nail a little bit, how do they react? In the case of a Brock Lesnar, or in the case of certain athletes don't do well as the nail, you saw Shavkat could bounce back and be the hammer again. I liked what I saw, AJ. No, he's real good, and hopefully he ends up in some nice matchups here. Name value, not going to sell like a Khamzat, not going to sell like one of these stars, a Jorge Masvidal, I don't know, but he's obviously extremely skilled, right up there at the top of the division. They should take their time with him, honestly. I'd rather see him get a title shot next year and have to fight 2 more contenders. It'll be good for him, and people need to know who he is a little bit more, right? I don't think he's selling out a pay-per-view yet.
No, he doesn't speak any English. He doesn't show much emotion. The American fans are going to have a really hard time relating. But I'll tell you this much. I got a fun fight for him. Belal Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov, baby. That's an
interesting my guy Belal. You're going to do my guy Belal like that?
Listen, I feel bad because Belal's got on, a great streak, and he beats Sean Brady up bad. But I'm like, listen, who else is there rankings-wise? That makes sense to me. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Belal Muhammad is a sensible fight. Also, note something. Shavkat beat Neil Magny. Neil Magny has a win over Jeff Neal. Shavkat beat Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal has a win over Belal. He's got to go through. He's got to go through the loop of guys, and I think Belal's the next step. It's a great matchup. I think that Shavkat Rakhmonov would honestly have a big striking edge in that fight, but Belal's a cardio machine. We got 5 rounds. I want to see full 5. I want that as a main event fight night card, and that will build the Shavkat Rakhmonov name. And if Belal beats him, you just beat the scariest guy in the weight class now without Khamzat Chimaev. Title shot's right there for Belal. It's one of those risk it all. If he wins that fight, title shot.
You don't want to see Belal beat a name, a Colby Covington, even a Gilbert Burns.
They won't give it to him, I feel. I think that they're going to do Burns, Masvidal winner versus Colby, and they're expecting Burns, and I think they sell Colby and Burns. It's the fucking big rivalry, Brazil versus USA, the fucking, Colby's active in his anti-Brazil whatever stance. I think the fans are going to get riled up with Gilbert Burns.
So you're telling me that in the meantime, they would do Belal Muhammad Shavkat, and if Belal beat Shavkat, he would get the title shot? AJ, what weed do they got you smoking out there in Florida? It ain't the good shit we got here in California, because I'll tell you what, how is that going to sell? I think the big names, the Jorge Masvidals and the Leon Edwards, the Kamaru Usmans, the Colby Covingtons, these big names are selling the pay-per-views. They're going to prefer to go to that. He'll have to get one of those. I think Shavkat, same thing. I think you need to match them up with those names, get them in there in that mix, get them in there in that storyline. I'm not a huge believer in a Jorge Masvidal, but he sells so many damn pay-per-views. A win over a Jorge Masvidal then propels one of them up to the title shot. That's the way I see it, brother. I don't think either of them beating each other, right, especially Shavkat beating Belal, honestly, will really rise their stock high. You think I'm wrong about that?
I think you're wrong as far as their actual skills. Somebody like us that really fucking knows the game knows what the level is, bro. And I want to see that. I want to see like the best martial artists. Like I think Shavkat and Bilal are the two dark horses of 170. Now I agree they kind of, need somebody else to bounce off of like a Kobe, but I think Kobe dodges both of them. Kobe does not match up well against Shavkat or Bilal. He's going to say no. Gilbert Burns, more likely, he'd say yes to a fight with a Bilal or a Shavkat, but he wants Colby Covington. So I feel like Rachmanov is going to be in no man's land with Bilal. So it's like one of those matchups. But I get what you're saying. Like put together Bilal against a big name, and if he wins, it propels him up.
We got to sell him, bro. This is a business. Welcome to the business. Y'all ain't getting nothing for free. And if you devils play broke, I'm taking your company. Immortal Technique. Listen, it's a business, bro. We got to make the right business matchups, AJ.
All right, I want to put my business cap on them. We got to. So who are they going to fight next? Because they're not going to. I don't see.
Are you going to make me pull up this top 10?
Winner.
I'll pull up this fucking top 10.
I need to match. I need to know who's next, bro. All right, let's see. Shavkat, Rachmanov. He just beat number 7, and then Bilal's number 4. Do they give? I don't see Shavkat fighting Wonderboy. I don't think Wonderboy's taking the fight. Chimaev's out of the rankings. Bilal's right there. It's the most sensible matchup in the rankings, I feel like. Shavkat's only at number 9 right now. What the fuck?
Who are you giving Hamzat? That's the real question.
Well, he's going to 185 now. Official. At least he's saying that.
I missed that.
So if he's at 185,
why are they doing that?
If he's not at 185, I think you go Chimaev, Covington, and then maybe Bilal versus Burns. But I think he's 185, dude.
Yeah, I guess since Leon and Usman are matched up. But if he's going 85, I think that's a mistake. I think the older you get, the bigger you get, right? I'm 30 now, and I'm like, you fill in a little bit, right? When as he gets older, he's going to get a little stronger, a little bigger. I do think it's better to get that welterweight title now. Try to go get him that welterweight championship now when Leon Edwards is the welterweight champion. Right. You see what I'm saying? Then with that welterweight title, move him up to 185, or I can even imagine him going to 205 by the time 5 years rolls around. But he's a big dude. But I think, it's so hard for him to make weight. Can you imagine them going 185 and then back down to 170? Yeah. Dude, Hamzat might not be able to make 170 next year.
Dude, but he looks like, I'm worried he's not going to make weight now. I'm worried he's going to miss. I'm worried he's going to get a title shot.
You think it is already done? It is already too late.
Right. Like, that's what I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned that he can't make the weight right now. If he can, I'm with you. Stay at 170. I think there's plenty of great matchups there, and there's a huge chance for him to get the belt.
Dude, they could do Leon Edwards versus Hamzat Chimaev now, and it would sell. They should just do that.
Yeah.
Give Hamzat the title shot, and then I don't know. Let's start making some fun fights. Up at the top here, you got Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Hamzat Chimaev, Bilal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns, Wonder Boy, Sean Brady, Vicente Luque. Are they really above Shavkat? You got to be kidding me. And then Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal at 11 is still, he might as well be 3 because of the name. You know what I'm saying? So how about that? Why don't you give my man Shavkat Jorge so we could get a little name under him? Jorge ain't taking that fight.
That Jorge ain't taking that fight. He's not fighting this scary motherfucker. He's going to get his head ripped off. But
that's what they would want, right?
I watched Jeff Neal versus Masvidal. I think he'd be more interested in that fight after he loses to Gilbert Burns.
I guess. But if Masvidal is going to fight somebody, it should be, freaking Jake Paul. I don't know. You know what I mean? He's on some goofy shit with how big his name is and how his skills are. Although, let me say, he's been in the gym working, man. Every time I see Johnny Eblin posting his stories and stuff, I constantly see Jorge Masvidal in the gym. So good for Jorge, man. I could tell he's sparring a lot and looking good. He's not like John Jones sparring 3 times before the fight. Jorge's in there with no fight, working his ass off. Clearly, Jorge's got some big goals for himself.
Yeah, listen, I think it's going to be a good fight between him and Gilbert Burns. I don't think he wins it. I think it's a really hard matchup. But, hey, I'm all in for it, and there's big name value in that matchup. What else did I want to say about this card?
Dricus Du Plessis,
Bo Nickel, performance. Gamrot very close with Turner. Bo Nickel, people are shitting on that win, though, because of that somewhat of a low blow. The replay's hard to tell, though. It looks like he could have hit the upper inner thigh, but he could have hit a little bit of the cup and pushed it up because they're saying Jamie Pickett's complaining. So that's an interesting one. Pickett's manager is supposedly trying to overturn the fight. They're putting.
I know you. What?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. I know you primarily box, AJ, but I'll tell
Yes,
you
yeah.
what, even a little slap to that cup, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not good, man. Yeah, it does
No, it
not feel
sucks.
good. So I think even if you just smack the cup a little bit, like it's still
Yeah.
legit. Okay, so you get 5 minutes to recover. Why
Right.
didn't he take the full 5 minutes? That's on Pickett. That's not on Bo.
Well, they're saying because they didn't take the timeout. He tried to signal to the ref. So Bo lands the knee shot as
Yeah, I see
then
what
he
you're saying.
shoots the throw. And then you can see Pickett signaling to, hey, hit me in the nut. Even on the ground, he said, ref, he hit me in the nuts. And then the ref didn't do anything. So, like, I wonder if there's going to be any investigation or are they just going to sweep it under the rug and just leave it be. I don't know.
All these investigations. What's the other investigation people keep talking about they want? The IV for Islam.
That's over with. That's a pipe
over?
dream. That's done. That's
ain't
done.
they ain't
Australia
doing
don't got
nothing.
time for that shit. They don't care about that.
I mean, it's like, number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world fight. And there's like, let him IV.
Now it's
like,
over
what?
though. Now the number 1 pound for pound is going to be John Jones again. That's it.
Daniel Baker, Mike Finch, Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil remix. I need it. Dance with the Devil is a great song, but you guys got to check out Immortal Technique's other shit. I'll put you on right now. Harlem Streets. Harlem Streets is a hard song. When I got to go lift and AJ sends me some workouts, AJ's telling me, we're going back and forth how many sets I should do or whatever. I'm putting on Harlem Streets, or Point of No Return is probably my favorite Immortal Technique song. And I'm putting that on full blast. So there's some workout music for you.
Let's go. Mike Finch. Listen, bro. Overall, though, Bo Nickal's wrestling is monstrous. It just is what it is. Dricus du Plessis beats Brunson. Brunson fucking breaks in the second round. Again.
Adversity. Did my man Brunson get some takedowns?
He looked good in the first.
And
he looks great in the first round. Even
100%.
against Jared Cannonier, he looked tremendous early. Second round, it's over, man. He's a one-rounder bust guy. And he obviously, now is not fighting with the same finishing intent that he had before that was getting him caught with stupid punches and knocked out every fight. So Derek Brunson just in one of those weird spots where he's really solid and can compete with everybody in the first round. But as fights go on, bro, who digs deep? Dricus du Plessis. He's a tough motherfucker. There's no quitting Dricus.
Dricus is in shape. That's the difference, man. Dricus can go 3 rounds as to where, my man Brunson can't. Can you imagine Brunson in a 5-round fight? What a joke, dude. He needs to fix the cardio, man.
It's only if you can land easy takedowns. Like Kevin Holland, he controls for 5 rounds. But if he's in a fight, a dog fight, he's not ready for 5. Dricus du Plessis, he is, man. He's good.
He's good. He got taken down. He went through some adversity too, though, similar to a Shavkat response, where it was nice to see him kind of mentally battle through that. He's the type of guy who I could see winning 3 out of 5 in a 5-round fight. You know what I'm saying? Dricus du Plessis is mentally tough. So it worries me about the big old wrestlers, though. What happens when, a very physically strong wrestler gets a hold of Dricus du Plessis? Yet to be seen.
Who is that, though, at 185 pounds right now?
Maybe
That's
it's
the one
Hamzat.
thing. Hamzat, yeah, that's the guy. Because I feel like if you look at that division at 85, there's not, besides Derek Brunson, there's not an influx of like top tier wrestlers in the top.
Alex Pereira, Izzy Adesanya, Robert Whitaker, Jared Cannonier, all strikers.
Best
Marvin
wrestler's
Vettori.
Whitaker.
Marvin Vettori's
yeah,
at Extreme Couture, bro.
He's
Marvin
good.
Vettori
He can
might
wrestle.
start surprising you guys with some of the wrestling.
He can wrestle.
Derek Brunson, Paulo Costa, Sean
Wrestle.
Strickland. Actually, you're right.
3,
That's
bro.
a lot of
Just
strikers.
3 guys that can wrestle, I would say. I mean, obviously, Sean Strickland is low key good on the ground, but just doesn't really use it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wipe that off. Remember when it was like, maybe Sean will go out there and wrestle Alex Pereira. LOL. So yeah, let's just if he didn't shoot against Alex Pereira, we're not gonna expect it, dude.
We're expecting no wrestling from him whatsoever. Now, Mike, I do want to get into the card. Let's talk some UFC Las Vegas.
Oh, do we have a card to talk about today?
Got a card to talk about, man.
Is that what's going on?
We got predictions to make, my friend. Let's jump,
bro.
Let's jump. Guys, if you're watching and you're enjoying, as always, I'll say it, smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Let's talk about the first fight of the night, Tyson Nam and Bruno Silva. Remember when Bruno Silva was on the show? Nice to see him back fighting again.
Yeah, bro.
Been a while.
Bulldog.
The Bulldog. Listen, Mike, my pick is going to be Bruno Silva here. Tyson Nam is a very powerful striker at flyweight, as is Bruno Silva, but a little bit older guy for the division. Bruno Silva, I feel like he mixes up his punches very well and close. And when you look at the last win for Nam, it was Ode Osborne, who's a guy that likes more that hands low, slick style. Silva's going to bite down and scrap. I think Silva could catch Tyson Nam with a big punch and knock him out. I know Silva's been out for a while. Concerns, maybe, the ring rust or whatnot. Still a fairly young guy. And I mean, he's hungry. He's on a good win streak. Like, he's one of those underrated guys. Like, no, I don't know. I feel like he's not very much talked about. He's got a couple decent wins. What were the last two? Let me pull it up for Bruno Silva, because I remember getting KOs at, flyweight is something that always has stood out to me. And I mean, he beats JP Bai's knockout, Victor Rodriguez, competitive fight against Tagir Ulanbekov, David Dvorak. You look at those 4 matchups right there. The 2 wins, yeah, lesser competition, but like, he's competitive with high-level guys. I think he could take out a Tyson Nam, especially with the striking. That fight, I feel like it's going to be a lot of stand-up. What do you think, Finch?
I think it's a really good fight. Tyson Nam has had some close fights. He had a really close fight with Matt Schnell. His losses are Kai Kara-France and Sergio Pettis back in 2019 and the New Year's show in 2020. Like, those are pretty high-level guys. And then, obviously has been able to beat Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne's no joke, dude. That's a pretty solid win. But you're right, though. Like, being a 39-year-old flyweight, not generally what you're looking for when you're looking for a confident bet. You never know when that next fight they're going to start looking a little slower, start falling off. And with Bruno Silva, I'm interested in I was initially interested in thinking about betting on Bruno Silva too, but with the layoff and the way they match up, it's a good fight. I think it'll be a fun fight. I guess they'll probably strike, and it's pretty risky for both of them. Bruno Silva might have a little more pop, a little bit better combinations, a little meaner, got that Brazilian Muay Thai style. Let's go with Bruno Silva getting it done with the hands. I think Tyson Nam will absorb some shots and make it all 3 rounds. Let's go Bruno Silva decision.
I like it, Mike. Listen, we're on the same guy, Bruno Silva, who is the favorite here at -170. Tyson Nam upwards of +170 on the opposite side. Excuse me. Win by Bruno Silva by a knockout +325. That's kind of what I'm feeling here, but I totally get your decision side. It's +235.
Kind of hard to knock out Nam, no?
It is hard to knock him out. The name that comes to mind of knocking him out is Marlon Moraes, way back in World Series of Fighting. After Nam shocked Eduardo Dantas way back. This is years and years ago. Yeah, bro, way back. That's Nam's been around, man. I think Bruno Silva can get him, but you know what? Tyson Nam's not an easy fight. I wouldn't say, lock of the week, Bruno Silva, but I think he's getting a knockout here.
And some people are going to hate on the 21-12 record of Tyson Nam. He's one of those guys who he fights anybody you give him. He's one of those dudes where you look up and down his record. Even, back in the 2013 days, AJ was talking about, he's always fought the best guys, and they've always put him in tough matchups. So he's a guy who's been there, done that. I think it's a good fist fight, one I'm personally going to stay away from. You know what, guys? On this card, this is like, I got one of my favorite picks. I never do this, but I already bet on it. I literally already bet on one fight on this card. I'll save the hype for that one. This is one of those fights where it'll be a fun one to watch. I do think Tyson Nam is a live dog, and
dog.
I'm picking with you, but I'm just saying Tyson Nam at 39. That's a pretty impressive 39-year-old flyweight.
No, he's dangerous, man. I like the fight a lot. I think it starts the night off really well. I think we got a banger in store. Let's keep running up. The next fight on the card, it's Tony Gravely versus Victor Henry. Listen, Victor Henry had that tremendous performance against Hani Barcelos, and then the hype got crushed when he fought Assunção. I will say, though, Assunção is always dangerous. Victor Henry's not a bad fighter, and when I look at the Tony Gravely matchup, I'm like, this is a fight he can succeed in. I see him with faster striking, though Gravely's like a little bit more explosive and powerful. He's got the wrestling, but I wouldn't say it's like great inside of the cage. I don't see Henry getting controlled by him or strangled by him. I see a competitive fight that is a lot of striking, and I see striking leading the way for Henry. So I think I'm going to go Victor Henry to get this thing done, man.
Good fight, man. Do you think Gravely could take him down?
I think Gravely could take him down, but I'm concerned if Gravely even is able to get much control, like a little like down takedown, but is he able to really do anything from these positions? Right. I personally think no.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough one for me, especially since they gave your man the favorite status. I kind of like Gravely, but I was digging into Victor Henry again. I was watching his striking again. I could see him winning the decision here. Another good one, really good fight. I'm gonna have to double up with you again, and I'm gonna say Mr. Henry gets it done. But Tony Gravely, pretty well rounded, probably a better wrestler. And, you could see a way that Tony Gravely could win 2 out of 3 rounds here, mixing up, just being a full MMA fighter. If Tony Gravely hits a couple takedowns, he could get it. I think he gets a little fucked up on the feet by Henry, and that's the difference maker for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. We're both riding the same side of Victor Henry to win.
Yeah.
As far as betting the fight, the line for it is close for Victor Henry at around -130, Gravely +120. I don't think it's, a terrible idea. I think Henry could win. I think he should win. I think he's the better technical fighter. It's just, Gravely's been in the UFC a while, and he's not an easy out. But I think of losses to like a Nate Maness where he's beaten, after having success early, then knocked out. I see Victor Henry getting the hand raise. Method of victory, props, not really my favorite here. This would be more if you are going to attack at money line. I don't know. I don't love it, man. Henry, do you love the bet of Henry money line? What do you think, Mike?
I love getting some popcorn, putting some butter on it, right? You could even actually get the butter out of the fridge. I tried it yesterday. I cut the butter up and kind of melted it on top of the popcorn and enjoy this fight, because this is one where, both of these guys have been there, done that in the UFC at this point. And I think they're both coming with ways they could beat each other. I think they both come in and look good against each other. I think it'll be a fun fight, close rounds. That's the type of fight I imagine.
Yeah, I like it, Mike. I like it. We're on the same side. Let's keep running. Next matchup is JJ Aldrich versus Ariane Lipski. Listen, I've been riding with the JJ Aldrich side. That's who I'm picking in this fight. Lipski, she's getting ground and pound TKO'd by Antonina Shevchenko. JJ Aldrich, I think, will have the grappling to deal with her. Lipski has decent, kind of wild flurries. She'll come and attack. She's the queen of violence. She has a little bit of a brawler style, but I think Aldrich could get a hold of her in the clinch. I think she could take her down. I think the ground and pound could be a factor. I think submissions are also a threat. I like Aldrich to win. I'm picking inside distance. I'll say knockout, but if she got a submission, it wouldn't blow my mind. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, JJ Aldrich getting the decision win over Vanessa Demopoulos says a lot to me, because Vanessa Demopoulos is significantly better at grappling than Lipski is. Now, Lipski, if I'm not mistaken, she had a nice knee bar, right? She
it was against Luana Carolina. She pulled that knee bar off.
That's right. She was able to counter a calf slicer, which is funny because it's my move. I calf slicer. When I roll with MMA fighters, they're generally not used to calf slicers. So I'm jumping on calf slicers all the time. And sometimes I've gotten some MMA fighters with it. But she was able to counter it really nicely. And so I was like, oh shit, maybe she's decent on the ground. No, not really. She was getting taken down by Joanne Calderwood, if you remember. She was almost getting armbarred by Joanne Calderwood. Not exactly what you want to see. Lipski, she's pretty good. Beautiful woman. I've seen her at UFC Gym Huntington Beach. My heart melts when I look at her. I mean, she's a beautiful woman and very marketable in that sense. She's a fun fighter to watch, man. She's pretty dangerous on the feet, and fun to watch. But the holes in her game are clearly the wrestling. I think the wrestling will be a big difference here. If she had the wrestling to deal with a JJ Aldrich, maybe she could outstrike her. She doesn't. I'm with you. Aldrich, maybe Aldrich submission.
I like Aldrich to win a lot here. As far as the lines, they're what you'd expect, -310 for Aldrich, Lipski at +305. I also feel like looking at Aldrich to win inside distance, not a bad idea. +225, you're getting more than 2-1 for that. I mean, Aldrich by submission somehow right now has +1200 at Bet Online. Aldrich by knockout sitting at +400. Inside distance is a great tag, but that's sub +1200. I could see her winning by submission here against Lipski.
Yeah, I could see her, especially a late submission where she beats her down a little bit, kind of wears her down, maybe a third round,
Yeah, we like.
Is this the fight you bet the farm on, Mike? Bufo on the beat? No. First off, I don't have a farm to bet. All right, I'm a Californian. I live on the coast. Can't buy no damn land out here. Secondly, I will tell you guys which fight that is very clearly. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Mike Finch, he says, stay tuned. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card: Mario Bautista versus Guido Cannetti. Mario Bautista is going to run over Guido Cannetti. Guido's 43, bro, and it's at bantamweight. If he was at heavyweight, I'd say, listen, maybe we can talk. But he is at 135 pounds, 43. The dude's a savage. Granted, he just beat two guys that are no longer with the UFC, Chris Moutinho and Randy Costa, who are limited. I know Costa had that great performance in the first round against Yanez, which kind of built the hype. Cannetti ran those guys over, but he's going to get beaten here. I mean, I think that Bautista's going to he's going to fuck him up, man. Like, he should whoop his ass. I think Bautista by sub, there's a pretty good chance. Ground and pound TKO is possible. Even he could knock out a Cannetti, but you can't doubt Cannetti standing up. Even at 43, he can still strike. He's got some power. Like, he's got KOs. He's not an easy fight, but Bautista has such a wrestling and athleticism advantage. It would be stupid for him to try to bang it out on the feet when I'm like very sure he can take this to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it would seem like such a clear striking advantage for Mario Bautista. You know, I could see the way Mario Bautista landed that flying knee on Miles Johns. I could imagine him getting a nice knockout in this fight. I think it'll look kind of like when Dana Botjarel, if I'm butchering his name, but I tried. Okay, he knocked Cannetti out with a really long lead hook. Joe Rogan was calling it a jab, but it was definitely a lead hook. That type of finish, right? I think he could put him away. So yeah, I think it's a mismatch. I think he's getting a knockout. You got to go Bautista all day. It's just that the odds reflect it.
They reflect it more than any other fight on this card. Minus 800 Bautista, plus 700 for Guido Cannetti, bro. That's wide.
That's love for Bautista. Damn.
Listen, they think he's going to kill the guy.
Bautista's Mexican?
Oh, shit. Now you're asking me the big questions. Hold on, Mike Finch. Let me pull it up. Right? I got Tapology right here. Right? Mario Bautista he's from Glendale, Arizona.
So he's Mexican.
I don't know. I don't know, actually. Maybe. You might be right. I don't know. Let me pull this up.
I'm just wondering if Team Mexico is going to keep rolling out with these awesome performances, man, because maybe after Alexa Grasso took that neck home, the bookie said, oh, shit, crank those odds up a little more for Bautista. You know what I'm saying? Joking around, of course. Bautista's the better striker. He moves so well. He feints really well. He's got a great game to beat a Guido Cannetti. He does it. He does it by knockout.
Yeah, it's going to be a beatdown. Now, as far as the odds, Mike Finch says knockout, which I do think is possible, plus 200. The sub line, plus 100 for Bautista. Damn, they're thinking it's inside distance because that play is minus 245 if you just wanted to bet inside distance. Knockout or sub, both likely. I'll say sub. Finch says knockout.
MMA Jesus says awesome. Sub too. You guys like sub? Really? Why wouldn't he go out there and strike?
He might though. He might knock him out. Like, hey, listen, it's definitely possible. That old man still got some power in his hand, Mike Finch. If he fucking ducks one under, Trevin Jones flatline Bautista. And I'm not trying to shit on Trevin Jones by any means. He gave Cody Garbrandt a few punches in the face. But you know, if Cannetti hit him with a big shot, it's not impossible. I just think the safest path would be some striking, but he'll bully him on the ground too. But like if he knocks him out, you're going to see no surprise on my face. If he loses, I'd be fucking shocked.
MMA Jesus, American Mexican, Dirty Reg. Yeah, he's Mexican. Daniel Baker, probably Mexican if he's from Arizona. I live here. LOL. Yes, Mexican American. It's another one for Team Mexico. Congratulations. Put up that tricolor. Yeah, I think he's getting a nice dubski here. It's just not super sweet to bet on. AJ, just for fun, what would the knockout prop be?
The knockout prop's plus 100.
That is more reasonable. And I think there's a 50-50 chance that happens. So the odds don't quite reflect what I think the likelihood would be. So just something to look at.
Yeah, let's go. Mike Finch and I both think Bautista's getting it done inside of the distance. Let's keep running up this card. Sedriques Dumas versus Josh Fremd. Listen, I think Sedriques Dumas is a dangerous prospect. He's been fighting a ton. Like, he's got a lot of amateur and pro experience. He's a little bit underrated. Big knockout power. I think he's got a good kickboxing style. He brings up those high kicks pretty well. And he can submit you too. I mean, I feel like overall, Sedriques Dumas is just way better than Josh Fremd. I think Fremd is in trouble with this matchup. I see him getting hit down the center, sometimes looking a little bit stiff on the inside. Josh Fremd is tough. He comes to fight. Like, he's a decent scrapper, but I'm not going to say he's beating Sedriques Dumas in this fight. I think that Sedriques has a big edge. I think he's getting a win. I think a knockout. I'm going to say submission, though, because Trayshawn Gore submitted Josh Fremd. I think Sedriques Dumas finds a sub, and I think first round.
Yeah, so Daniel Baker's on it if you want to pull him up. Come on, Finch. This is the one. You guys want me to, like, jump on Dumas and say, what a mismatch this is. Okay. I think Dumas kind of sucks. I think I was watching Dumas's amateur fights, and I know they're old at this point. They're 2 or 3 years old at this point.
Right.
His striking is, like, he's available to be hit at any time. His defense is almost non-existent. And then when he grapples, he gets out-wrestled easily. On the ground, he went for an armbar. I thought it was Cyril Gane going for an armbar. It was bad. He didn't know how to pinch his knees or to use his hips as a lever. The technique is not there for Dumas. It's beyond not being impressed. I mean, he just looks bad to me. He does not look like a guy who is training like a serious mixed martial arts fighter. Now, I must say, I haven't seen his last 3 or 4 fights. Have you been able to find them? You at least saw his fight in the Contender Series, obviously, but the fights before that, I mean, I need more of a body of evidence
I found him on
before I
Fight
tell you to go
Pass.
bet on somebody.
I found him on Fight Pass.
All right, so clearly I need to pull up my Fight Pass because I'm looking at these old fights that are only like 2-3 years old, and dude, he's got a lot of holes in his game. Okay, so I think a lot of UFC fighters will beat this dude. He's athletic, and that's it. That's not enough in the UFC. However, I look across the cage from him, and I'm like, oh my god, he's got Josh Fremd, right? Not very impressive striking, likes to throw left hooks and right hooks, right? Decent body lock takedowns, I guess. But then what? He gets strangled by our man. Why am I forgetting his name? Tresean Gore. And not just strangled. He was out, AJ. He got killed. He got put out.
He got killed in that fight. No, that was scary.
Sat through with the guillotine. I mean, it's like Josh, roll. Just do a somersault, brother. Like we need you to defend these. So, you know, Josh has a lot of holes in his game. You're putting him in there with a guy who's at least athletic, and Dumas at least can, you know, try to expose him here. So I'm totally on the fence on this one. No, I am not. Daniel Baker and all you guys who love this matchup, I think Dumas is still very green, very vulnerable. It's just that Josh Fremd is not the type of guy you want to bet on to go cash that check. Like, I mean, you know, we need to give him somebody with some offense. What a tough pick for me, dude. I mean, after just shitting on him that bad, should I just go with Josh? Because I wrote down Dumas, but I don't like the pick at all, dude. I might wing it and say that Josh somehow finds a way to get on top and not fuck this up.
That's what you're feeling, Mike.
Because Dumas can fuck this up. That's what I'm saying. You know, a fighter who, a Michael Chandler's a good example. Okay, Michael Chandler will go out there and start whooping somebody's ass. He'll start hitting them and breaking their lips apart and taking them down. And somehow he fucks it up and he loses the fight. I could see Dumas doing that here. Dumas dominates the first round 10-8 and then finds a way to get rear naked choked. Give me Fremd, one of the worst fighters in the UFC, but still enough to beat Dumas, who's just too damn green for me right now. Sorry.
Mike Fitch, you're going to regret that pick. I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you, Sedriques Dumas is dangerous, bro. He's dangerous. He's 9-1 as an amateur. That to me holds weight. 7-0 as a pro, and he's a good fucking athlete. And I'm telling you, he's a junkyard dog. You see that face? That's a face of a savage, bro. He's fucking froomed up, Mike Finch. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, he's gonna whoop him.
I'm going to log into UFC Fight Pass, and I'm going to watch his recent fights. As I said, I didn't watch his last 4 fights. What I'm looking at are his old fights, which I watched like 4 of them, and each one I was like, this is getting worse.
Dude, you're not feeling him. We'll talk after you rewatch it. We'll see him on Saturday. On Saturday, you'll find out, Mike Finch. I think he's better than you're thinking. I think you'll be impressed a little bit, at least.
All right.
At least more so. But I respect that you're going dog money, Mike Finch. I'm on the other side. I'll give you the dog line. Mike Finch on Josh Fremd, the ballsy pick by him, plus 165. I'm on Dumas, who's now minus 175. A lot of money's come down on him because they were close. They were way closer as far as lines earlier on in the week. Like yesterday, bro, it was like minus 140. They're wide now. Dumas to win by sub, my official call, plus 325. Finch got sub on the opposite side for Fremd. That's plus 700. So if you on the Finch train, if you guys are fucking, I don't know how you're pulling this off. You guys are like savages with this. Go, Mike. Go.
One more point.
Yes.
Who has Dumas fought? Guys, look at his record. He's fighting like 1-4. He's fighting straight up cans, bro. Campbell's soup cans. That's who Dumas has fought. Who has Josh Fremd fought? Actually, real people, like real fighters. You know, he doesn't have like a manager picking his fight. I don't know what's going on with Dumas, but Dumas has fought nobody. As to where Josh, you know, yeah, I know the record isn't that sweet. I know he's not a great athlete, but at least he's been fighting real people, bro. It means something to me, man. You guys be careful betting on this green cannon, Dumas.
That's fair. Listen, I respect the side, Mike Finch, even if I'm on the other side. We got more action to talk about.
Bloodrich, all aboard the Finch train. Choo, choo.
I'll pull it up for the Finch, man. I'll pull it up for the Finch, man. Listen to Bufo, baby. Just look at those dreadlocks. He's legit. He's legit. He's too legit to quit, my man.
Bro, who is out here legit with dreadlocks in MMA? Can you even think of somebody? I guess Raphael
Stats, bro. Look at Stats. Look at him. Look at Stats.
All right, shout out to Super Stats. Super Stats, you're legit. Everybody else, they faking.
I don't know who else got dreadlocks, so I don't want to say a name. There's somebody. Dumas. He's up next, baby. Let's keep running. Next fight is Raphael Assunção versus Davey Grant. This is a fucking fun fight. I'm picking Davey Grant, Mike. I think Davey Grant's going to be more dangerous with the stand-up. I don't see him put on his back by Assunção, and then I'm thinking about the striking. I see Grant landing more. Grant's a good striker. He gave Marlon Vera a tough fight. Adrian Yanez a tough fight. Beat Marlon Vera once earlier in his career. This is a matchup that I think is going to be a lot of fun. Assunção, 40 years old. I got to pick Davey Grant to beat him by a decision.
Damn. Good matchmaking on this one.
Fight.
You guys are sweating me on this one. I could see Assunção getting him down. No, you think Davey Grant's takedown defense is that good?
If he gets him down, can I see Assunção really doing a ton from the top? I don't. I maybe like cage control, maybe a trip, but I don't see him getting fucking controlled, man.
And then I know Davey Grant's got, he's got a nice little left hook. He's got a nice little, he could box. Is he putting Assunção out?
I think he's winning a decision. Davey got some power, though. He slept Jonathan Martinez, man.
That's a great win.
That's a sick win, right?
That aged really well.
So well, because he's a savage.
Yes. Shit. I think you might have convinced me because when I first saw this, I was like Assunção, and then I watched your last show and you really broke it down. And I'm like, fuck, man, does he just is just the hands enough? I'm staying away from it. I'm not betting on it. My initial thought was Assunção. You might have convinced me because Assunção went on a pretty bad losing streak there, but it was against great competition. I mean, off the top of my head, obviously Garbrandt. I might as well look at it instead of fucking this up. Here we go. Assunção 27-9, very experienced. Simon, I mean, pretty damn tough kid. Cody Garbrandt, Corey Sandhagen, Marlon Moraes, and that's just since 2019, bro. Got that win over Victor Henry, obviously, which was a big deal. I mean, Victor Henry, AJ's very high on, and he's going to, yeah, fuck it. I'm sticking to my guns, bro. I think Davey Grant's getting decisioned here by Assunção. Right. But Davey Grant's got hands. I see what you're seeing. You're pulling me to the dark side on this one, honestly, but I'll stick with my guts. I'm going against AJ. Give me Assunção.
Assunção, the win for Mike Finch. I am on Grant. As far as betting this fight, the odds, Assunção plus 130, Grant minus 130. Davey Grant to win by a decision, plus 255. Assunção decision side sitting at plus 210. So not much steam on Assunção winning a decision at all. I do think this fight can hit that over 1.5, minus 300. Over 2.5 is possible, but they are going to be striking a lot. Assunção's 40. He got chinned by Cody No Love. Davey Grant's got a knockout over Jonathan Martinez. I don't know. I don't love the over. Could Davey Grant get a KO?
That's what I'm saying. Be careful.
At plus 210, it's not worth it, so I wouldn't touch the line. If you're going Grant, you're going money line. If you're going to Assunção, I think you're better off going money line too.
Gary Freeman, combined age of 77 years old. Did you know that their combined age is still not as old as the president of the United States? I just wanted to drop that in there. Okay, so the reason why I wouldn't bet the over on this one is because of what our man, Mr. Freeman, just said. And, you never know when the chin's going to go, right? Yeah. And I am concerned because Davey's got hands and Assunção has been chinned. We've all seen that knockout. I don't even have to remind you. But Assunção is the better mixed martial artist. Davey Grant's got hands. I don't know if it'll be enough, dude. I'm gonna lean Assunção, and I think it'll be a good fight. I see what you're seeing in Grant, though. My boy can box.
Listen, fair. Listen, I respect the Assunção side. He's a veteran of the game. He's really high level at one point. I think he's slowed a bit. I think right now Davey's got him, baby. But listen, it's a fight.
Victor Henry.
It's a good win. No, I know it's a good win. Davey Grant's not a bad. It's a fun matchup. It's gonna be a good fight. I'm going Grant. Mike Finch going to Assunção. Opposite ends on this one. Let's keep going up, Mike Finch. The next matchup on the card. You looked a little bit like Conor McGregor on the scales right there, Mike.
I was going Super Saiyan, bro.
You're going Conor, baby.
Not Jake Gyllenhaal on the scales.
No. Come on, man.
I need a little bit of I can't get USADA tested if I'm gonna look like that.
If you want to look like Jake Gyllenhaal, you need some Russian supplements. You know what I'm saying? They'll send them to you.
Russian.
What the wrestlers back in the day were taking, bro. All right, let's get to this next fight. We got Łukasz Brzeski versus Karl Williams. Very interesting fight because both of these guys are smaller heavyweights. Williams, previously a light heavyweight. Brzeski has done his work at the heavyweight division as a smaller heavyweight. Holy fuck, did he get robbed against Martin Buday? That was a bullshit decision. He definitely deserved the nod in that one. He was touching Buday. I was surprised. Buday didn't do a ton. Karl Williams on the other side gets a win on the Contender Series. He has pretty solid wrestling. He's got decent stamina. He's got decent speed. Karl Williams wins the fight. Decision, though, I will call.
Yeah. Karl Williams should win the fight. Yeah, interesting one. I mean, I agree with you that Buday did lose that decision. That was pretty bad.
That was bad.
But it. I don't know. What else could I say about that? No, I think Brzeski has okay takedowns. He throws hooks and combinations, kind of like Fremd, maybe with a little more power, I guess. Boom, boom, these like wide hook combinations that you could imagine a good striker countering that. He makes mistakes, like when he shoots a single leg, he leaves his neck out there. And if you do that against somebody who's got good chokes, that's not good. Now, is Williams the guy to choke him? I don't know. I think Karl could probably out wrestle him, though. I could imagine Karl Williams, getting some takedowns in this fight, which will be key. I like the PFL experience. Yeah, I'm going to double up with you on Williams, my brother. I'll go decision based on wrestling.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like the take. I think that's what we're seeing. Heavyweight action, -190 line for Williams, +180 Brzeski. I think there's a pretty real chance that Williams is getting a hand raise in this one. It is big boys, but they are on the smaller side. Could there be a KO if somebody gets hit clean? Of course, but decision win for Williams, +265. I like his chances to win by decision. He's a guy that fights with a patient attack, and he doesn't. I don't think he's gonna go crazy for a finish. If he can't find it, he's happy to win a decision here, and I think that's what he does.
Dirty Reg, which fighter on this card will make it look easy to you all? Anyone, please help. SOS. He's like, I need some money, bro. I need some money. Who's got the pick? It's on the main card. Stay tuned.
Let's go. Mike Finch. He's got a big take on the main card. I can't wait for it. Let's keep running up. Next fight on it is Vitor Petrino versus Anton Turkalj. Listen, I got to go with Petrino. I think the power is the difference maker. Turkalj got a bit of grappling, but do I see him strangling Petrino? No. Could he hold the position against the cage for a bit? Yes. Does he get caught by punches against a much lesser striker in Ocasio dos Santos the last fight? Yes. I know Turkalj, was kind of brought in thinking that he's more so of a striker, but he's too slow on the feet. I think he's going to get cracked by Petrino. This dude's got real power. I don't think he's the best fighter we've ever seen, come off the Contender Series, but he's a scary one that hits hard. Turkalj just got murdered on the ground by Almeida. No shame in that. Almeida's this level, but we do know Turkalj is not, he's not pushing up that way. Petrino's an unknown, but from what we've seen, he's dangerous. Unbeaten. Has he fought the best competition? Fuck no. Until he fought Antagulov, his only real win was the Bellator win that he had, and then he rematched him on Contender Series, So I'm going to go Petrino by knockout. I think he beats Turkalj. Doesn't have the best resume ever, but he is undefeated. Mike Finch, what are your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah. Petrino is powerful, dude.
Hard punch.
Super, super powerful. When he misses, he is way out of position. Like he gets so open for counters that you can imagine anybody with some nice light boxing where they're not going to overcommit. They just make him miss, pop, 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 just use their speed, come back. You can imagine somebody kind of peppering him up. Turkalj's probably not the guy, right? I do like Anton striking, though. His defensive boxing also needs some work. He leads with roundhouse kicks with no setup. That is going to be a huge mistake against Petrino. So I'll make a very specific pick, and that's when Anton starts getting a little confident. He comes in there, he throws that low kick with no setup. Petrino, right hand, left hook, knocks him out. Petrino, knockout, round one.
I like the knockout pick. We're both on it, and the odds are fucking close, Mike. -110 on both sides. We got pick'ems for this fight right here. Petrino to win by knockout. Petrino by knockout sucks, though. It's only +125. he's probably going to get the
money
KO
line it,
win.
guys. Money line it. That's it's not financial advice. I'm just telling you, Petrino's got a lot more power.
Yeah, I got Petrino winning. We're both on Petrino to win. We both like him by KO. I think power is the big difference maker in this fight. And, just not overly impressed by Turkalj. I don't think he's a bad fighter. He's a tough dude, but I see him getting hit and I see him going down.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. Turkalj is a little too open for a big power puncher like that. You want somebody who's really composed, mobile. I mean, you go on a long list of guys that you could imagine to fit that bill. Turkalj is not it. It's a bad matchup for him, and Petrino's got to make a statement. I think this is a matchup for him to make a statement. For the odds to be that close, I think it's mispriced. It should be Petrino as a decent 2-1 favorite or something. So if you guys are interested in that one, I certainly am.
Let's go. Mike Finch and I both on Petrino. We both like knockout. Let's jump to our next fight. Ricardo. Oh, we're choosing the wrong one. Now I gotta go back, man. We got this. This is the real fight. Next
good fight too.
This is a great fight. The graphic, you know what I'm saying? It isn't the best look ever. These names are too damn long. We got This is the first fight on the main card. Make sure you guys smash the like button for the people watching the stream, whether it's live or replay. We really appreciate the continued support. Definitely subscribe if this is your first time on the channel. Moneyline every single Monday. And then I'm posting content every day of the week. Let's talk about it. Said Nurmagomedov versus Jonathan Martinez. I went against the grain and I picked Jonathan Martinez to win this fight. Because the Nurmagomedov name is there, there's a lot of intimidation. People think of the bullying wrestler. This is the dog fighter team. This is more of a striking focused game. Yes, Nurmagomedov has good striking, but Jonathan Martinez is a dangerous striker, and I don't see him getting submitted. Southpaw. Interesting fight on the feet. I think Martinez is going to touch him up with low kicks, but I do feel like Said Nurmagomedov's got really fast body kicks. So where's the difference maker going to be? I'd say punching power advantage goes the side of Jonathan Martinez. He's training with a nice ass team too, man. Like, I don't know. I feel high on him knowing that, he's gotten work in with the Chris Gutierrez's of the world, who's an extremely high level kickboxer at the same weight class. So I'm going to pick Jonathan Martinez to win. I think I'm going to lean it to him getting it done on the scorecards, though, because it's not an easy fight. I also look at Nurmagomedov's last fight. Romanov was doing pretty fucking well, and then they released him from the UFC after it, which I thought was fucked up. Pick Jonathan Martinez to win this thing, man. I
like that dog pick, dude. I actually think Jonathan Martinez is going to make this a really good fight. He's actually probably he's a better roundhouse kicker than Said Nurmagomedov. I mean, I can imagine trying to take those legs up a little bit, but Said is going to match him in the striking and the wrestling. You might give a little edge to Said. I know what you're saying. It's not the team Habib. But he's a good wrestler too, though, man. I think that could come into play. So tall for the weight class too. It's a good fight, and Martinez trains with my friend Motaz Oscar and all of them, so I have an incentive to pick Martinez. But I think Said gets a decision here, man. I think it's a good fight, though. I like that dog stab, a fun one. I won't be betting on Said, but Said Nurmagomedov should take a decision here. I do think he can keep up with the striking of a Martinez. If Martinez starts working that calf kick a little bit, tries to, just put a pace on him, man. If Martinez fights with a high pace in this fight, I could imagine him taking a round. It's just that Said with the just a takedown or two, just some clinch control a little bit, that should be enough to make a difference, because Said could strike too, AJ. I mean, I know you know that. Said Nurmagomedov is no joke on the feet either. Good fight, fun fight. Martinez is in a big spot here, man. If he shines here, he's going right up to the top of the division. It's a big moment for him. He looked really good recently. This is his moment. We're going to see what Martinez has got. I don't think it'll be enough. I'm going to go Said decision.
What's interesting too, though, is Nurmagomedov looks taller than he really is. These guys are both 5'8", half an inch reach edge for Said. I know he looks tall because that thin frame, but he's not as tall as you think. He looks a lot taller than he is, though.
They're both the same height?
The same height, brother.
I thought Said was 3 inches taller, bro. 5'8". Son of a bitch. You know what, though? You can't ever trust those heights when you look at him. Randy Couture's height is 6'2". He's eye to eye with me. Arnold
No shit.
Schwarzenegger is 6'2" or 6 foot on the internet. He was like 5'9". I mean, these guys are not, you can't always trust those heights. You got to wait until they do a stare down. All right, I want to see them stare down at weigh-ins before I even think about touching this fight.
Smart. Listen, not a bad idea. I will say I did say that Nurmagomedov was a southpaw earlier. He's a stance switcher. He can mix it up, but primary orthodox. I made that fuck up, and I knew it as I was saying it, but I wanted to correct that. I just checked UFC stats, which is the closest thing we can get to accurate. They do have 5'8" on both sides, man.
Wow.
5'8" on both sides, 70-inch reach on both sides. UFC stats official. So it's going to be interesting, man.
Enough.
I'm going Martinez, baby. I'm going against the grain, I guess, really, on this one.
I see that. Good for you. What do you like from Martinez? You like the round? I like his
kicks,
kicking game.
Man. Now, the thing is, what is a little bit of a thought that I'm having is because we have orthodox versus southpaw, it's not southpaw versus southpaw. There's the calf kick is not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like inside low kicks might be a factor. I think Martinez got some decent hands. I like the hook. He's got some power, physically strong. He's like kind of explosive and fast. And Nurmagomedov, I guess, maybe I'm just not overly sold on him. That Raoni Barcelos loss is there. And granted, that was when Barcelos, I think, was at his pinnacle. I just think Martinez can pull this thing out and shock a lot of people, but it's not an easy fight. And I'd be stupid to tell you guys this is the lock of the week. I'm not lying and saying that. I think it's a coin flip that I ended up just feeling the side of Martinez. I'm like, I got to go with what I feel in this one.
Got to go with what you feel, brother. Factory X prospect. They're cooking over there at Factory X. Isn't that Powerpuff Girls Factory X, right? They're making promotions over there. I think that he's a real prospect to look out for. But I'm on the other side of you on this one because of the wrestling advantage for Saeed. And I do think Saeed deals with his striking. It's not like Jonathan Martinez is like, this knockout king. I mean, he's got some nice kicks, but Saeed will be ready for it. Good fight, AJ. Honestly, I hope it's a very close, good fight because, I like Jonathan Martinez. I like his style. He's a fun guy to watch.
Saeed's minus 200, Martinez plus 210. I do think we're going long. I like over 2.5 also at minus 155. Fun fight. Nurmagomedov, the OV side for Finch. I normally never stray from the OV, and we'll find out on fight day if that's a mistake. I'm not gonna lie to you. I said, "Fuck!" I said, "I just broke my own rule." God damn.
What are you breaking the rules for, bro? And Daniel Baker, that was Chemical X Finchy. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much. Powerpuff Girls fan here. Nice. I'm glad we got one in the house.
Let's go. Let's keep running up the card, Mike Finch. This next one, Ricardo Ramos versus Austin Lingo. So Ricardo Ramos is a solid kickboxing prospect. It's also a little bit of a questionable fight IQ at times. And he breaks, baby. I'm going Austin Lingo to knock him out, Mike Finch. I think Lingo's got the boxing. I think Lingo is a guy, he came in and fought a good version of Yusuf Zalal. He's got boxing for sure. He's tough as fuck, man. Like, I feel like when I looked at the lines, I was also more shocked than ever. I feel like you look at Lingo's game. I'm watching tape I try to not look at the lines right before, Mike. I try to do what you do. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This fight right here, it really blew my mind to see how wide Ramos was after he had a loss in his, 2 fights ago to Zabira Tuhugov, no longer even with the promotion. He got released. Austin Lingo's 9-1. He closes the gap well and cracks. He can take damage and give it. Ramos is a guy that can get finished. Now you look, he knocked out Danny Chavez. Who the fuck has Danny Chavez ever beaten in the UFC? He knocked somebody out that had a UFC glove on. Does that really, mean a ton to me? Ramos is not a bad fighter, though, and I've always thought he's got potential in the sport. I just question his durability, and I think Lingo could be a guy that cracks that chin and knocks him out. I'm going Austin Lingo to KO him in the 3rd.
AJ said, who the fuck is that guy?
Let's go.
Dude, I'm with you, man. I think Lingo's got hands, bro. I'm pretty impressed with the fisticuffs. And Ricardo Ramos, my friend, Manny Vasquez finished him. Dana White came out to go see them fight. And Manny was so excited. He was getting a big shot in front of the boss man. And he went out there and rear naked choked him, strangled him. And like you said, that loss didn't age well to Zagulov. I'm going to fuck his name up. But yeah, he that hasn't aged well either. I mean, that's not who you want to be those are the must-win fights in the UFC, and he lost that one. So Ricardo Ramos, a little bit dangerous, decent jiu-jitsu, decent striking. Like, he's live, but Lingo's got nasty hands. I do see what you're seeing. I think he puts a couple punches on him, maybe gets him out of there, bro. I'm gonna go Lingo knockout.
Wow, Mike Finch on the same side. Holy shit, let's go. We're both going big dog money because these odds are wild. Minus 350 for Hamosh, plus 295 Lingo.
Bro, I didn't even know that.
How is he a minus 350?
You're serious?
Bro? I'm dead serious, bro. That makes zero sense
They're
to me.
giving him respect, bro. What do they think? Ramos going to take him down?
I don't get it. I literally don't understand. Lingo by knockouts plus 475, but just money line it. That's a tremendous money line dog attack that I have to touch. I think the line's fucking crazy, and I think Lingo's dangerous. Layoff for Lingo. Notable point, there has been a layoff for Lingo, but I think he can still do it here, man. He's a dangerous guy, and they're both very young in the game. Lingo is 28. His loss to Yusuf Zalal is 3 years ago now. He hasn't fought in a year and a half, but he beat Luis Saldana in that fight, and he fucking cracked him with big shots and hurt him bad. He's got power, and Hamosh doesn't deal well with guys that hit hard. Lerone Murphy, Saeed Nurmagomedov knockout. Hamosh, I think, might be on a bet in this one, man.
Yeah, interesting. Zubaira, of course, is the proper pronunciation. Man, I think Lingo's going to knock him out, dude. Yeah, I see the 2 canceled fights. What, was Lingo hurt?
Lingo, I believe, has been dealing with a little something of an injury. Let me pull it up here. Have it here.
No, you're all
good. Lingo was injured. Yeah, he got injured a year ago, and then, I guess re-injury with the Onama fight that was supposed to happen. You look at the 2 previously scheduled opponents, David Onama and Jonathan Pierce, different matchups than Hamosh. Maybe this is the best matchup for him. I don't know. Onama's a guy I think Lingo could beat, but I think Jonathan Pierce is just a fucking bully of a grappler. Might have fucked him up.
And I think it's mispriced, bro. The market's got it wrong. I'm with you on the dog, dude. Wolf. Let's go out there dog hunting, man. He's running around the neighborhood. Let's wrap one up. I go Lingo knockout, dude.
Lingo by knockout, the pick for me, the pick for Mike Finch. We jump to the featured bout of the night, which is a rebooking. Me and Mike Finch talked about this not too long ago.
We predicted it and everything.
Krylov and Ryan Spann, and I already know, Mike Finch, what your take is here, and you already know mine. Do the people know? Maybe not. I'll tell them mine. I'm picking Krylov to win, as we broke it down previously. Mike Finch, let the people know where you're at. What are you thinking?
I like Spann, but I actually didn't really know why it got rescheduled. I'm like the only person. Could you tell me why? What happened?
Oh, I got to pull up the officials, man. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but
okay,
I believe there was an illness to Ryan Spann.
He had the illness.
Double check.
Ryan Spann had the illness.
No, excuse me, Krylov illness. My apologies.
Perfect.
So,
give me Ryan Spann. That's what I was looking to hear, brother. Ryan
Spann
Spann was ready to go. My man Ryan Spann is a dangerous dude. Krylov needs to start fast like he did against Gus Bus, okay? Otherwise, he's getting his ass bust. I think that Spann is going to be aggressive on the feet. I like his choke game. Spann's on top of his game right now. I've been impressed with Superman. Is he going to finish him? That's a good question. I have to mull that one over for a second here while AJ disagrees with me, but I got to go Spann in this one, dude. And Krylov's been pretty impressive too. I mean, Krylov, kind of on the top of his game as well, but Superman Spann, I can't underrate him anymore, dude. I'm a believer now.
Listen, Superman Spann, he's a dangerous striker with real fucking power, but after 3 minutes, I still think he's the same guy. Gets strangled by Anthony Smith. And that's why I'm going Krylov here, is I think Spann's still the same. Oh, I started training now. Come on, man. You never trained to get to the UFC top 10. Ryan Spann hits fucking hard. Krylov knows that. Krylov's going to take this fight, I think, try to at least take this fight to the floor. I think early Spann's takedown defense will be dangerous. Like I know we talked about previously, he's got a good guillotine and whatnot, and he's a long motherfucker. But I think Krylov is there for the long game. I think Krylov beats him. I'm thinking submission, second or first, later in the first or in the second. I'm going to pick Krylov to sub him. So, yeah, we're riding Nikita to win. 3-round fight. Even if it was 5, I thought the fight would go the same way. I guess it's more incentive for Spann to really put the foot on the gas pedal early, knowing he only needs, to be going 3 as opposed to having 5. I still think he gasses and gets strangled here. We're going Krylov.
Damn.
We're going Krylov still, Mike Finch.
I see what you're seeing in that in that Krylov would be maybe winning late. Like I could see Krylov taking the third round. I understand what you're saying, but Krylov also kind of likes to lay on the gas pedal pretty heavy. And if he's in there with this beast Spann, does he get tired too? I don't know. I think Spann's too dangerous, dude. I think Spann's too damn dangerous. I could see him winning by TKO. I could even see him grabbing one of those guillotines, dude. His front headlock game, his guillotine game is nasty. Cyril Gane don't want none of those guillotines. You know, I you know what I'm saying? I think that Superman Spann could finish this fight, man. Yeah, I call me crazy. Superman Spann, give me a TKO, dude. Give me a TKO in the first fucking round.
Mike Finch going first round TKO for Ryan Spann. Respect. Minus 166 for Nikita Krylov. Plus 150 for Ryan Spann. All right, so let's go Mike Finch with the KO. Plus 425 for Spann. Krylov by submission. Plus 350. We like the opposite sides. I see Krylov subbing him. Mike Finch sees Spann knocking him out. We're going to find out on fight night. Bro, I still like Nikita Krylov's chances as long as that fucking illness is not lingering. Assuming that
that's a concern, right?
That's 2 weeks, you know. So if he had the flu, that's the roughness of it would be that, you know, then the training's thrown off and shit. So I understand going Spann here, but I'm not going to let the illness change the pick. I'm going to stay the side of Krylov and say he gets the sub. But we'll see on fight night, man. Circumstance could be perfect for Spann. I do feel like the steam on this fight has died a little bit now that it was rescheduled. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was more hype before. Now it's lost a little bit. Now it's, you know, the feature bout of the night. Before this was a main event. But hey, I'm still excited for the fight either way.
I'm fucking excited for sure, man. But if my man Krylov was shitting his brains out, like, you know, maybe my boy could have used another week. I don't know. Maybe. Is it a little soon for Krylov? That being an X factor just gives me more confidence in Superman. Fair. So I'm sticking with it, bro. Superman's a dangerous guy in the first round. I mean, it's not a 5-round fight. You know, at least he can get 1 and 2 and maybe just survive that third if he gasses out. Superman Spann could have a little more energy management in his game. That would be nice to see. But, you know, I could imagine him getting him out of there, dude. You know, Nikita Krylov, like I said, likes to start fast too. So when Superman Spann's starting fast, are we going to rely that Nikita Krylov will be intelligent enough to sort of ride that wave? I'm going to say no.
I respect it. Mike. I will say Krylov never stopped by knockout since his UFC debut. That was the only
stopped by submission by Craig
Jones? He got subbed by Craig. He got subbed, I believe, Glover. He's been subbed a good amount. He's been
that
subbed.
Guillotine is live. If Superman Spann guillotines him,
that'd be fucking savagery.
You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
Mike Finch, I'll give you the sub prop because you just said that. I want to read it out to you. The sub prop for your guy, Ryan Spann, is sitting at plus 425, the exact same as the knockout.
Plus 420? What? Come on, son. Light up with Elon Musk. Let's go. Plus 420. That's interesting. They're just trying to entice me to pick that shit.
Let's go, Mike Finch. Let's see. Listen, I'm on Krylov. Finch is on Spann. Let's get to our co-main event of the evening. Alexander Volkov versus Alexander Romanov. One Alexander must leave the top 10. We're going to find out who. Listen, Alexander Romanov is a monster of a grappler. I know Marcin Tybura won the decision last time, but it was a draw. Fuck that decision. It was bullshit. That was a 10-8 first round, 2 10-9s for Tybura. I'm not saying that Romanov didn't look very human there. He fucking threw around Tybura like a rag doll. Alexander Volkov's grappling skills are not where Tybura's are at. Oh, but Volkov beat Tybura. Styles make the fights. Alexander Romanov gets this thing to the floor. Tom Aspinall submission in the first round. I could see Romanov subbing him early too. You'll say, oh, Curtis Blades didn't TKO him. Curtis Blades didn't strangle him. Different style of grappling game. And honestly, Volkov at that point might have been a bit better. Some years have gone by. So he's taken losses since then. This damage to the body. I think people sometimes are not even taking into account. Volkov's been through a lot of fucking camps. We don't know what he's going on with his body. You know, like there's injuries. This is the bad loss to Aspinall. Granted, great win over Rosenstruik. Great win over Tybura. Striker in Rosenstruik. Generalist who's really good on the floor but lacks takedown offense in Tybura. Romanov, to me, is in the clear, bro. I see a perfect path to victory, and that is get a hold of Volkov. But if you don't see a finish, don't feel like you got to force one. And that's Romanov's issue is he's throwing around her, picks him up, fucking gas yourself out. Don't do that. Effective takedowns to get you control. Don't be fucking showy here. I'm going to pick Romanov to win by submission. I think this is a hard matchup for Alexander Volkov. Mike Finch?
Not only is this going to be my lock of the night, I think this is lock of the century, dude. When I saw this fight, I'm figuring, okay, what, 5-1 odds? I could not believe how much respect they are giving Volkov. Volkov is not the type of striker who can keep you off of him. I know he's super long, and so people might think, man, maybe he can move around and use his range. What range? They're heavyweights, and they're in the smallest cage the UFC has. And then you think about Romanov's ability to dominate with the wrestling. You saw, I love how AJ brought it up. It's exactly what I was going to say. Tom Aspinall ran through him. He needed one takedown and then got a submission. King Kong is about to do the same shit. King Kong, quit doubting him because of that Tybura fight. Everybody has a bad night out. Even the GOAT, John Jones, has had some bad nights out as we keep ragging on him about this Reyes fight. I am telling you guys that in the grappling department, this thing is a huge mismatch. And on the feet, are you going to rely on Volkov timing a knee or timing some type of strike as Romanov is coming in? I guess it's possible, but it's not 2-1 possible. The bookies totally mispriced this thing. I think Romanov runs him over. First round submission for King Kong, and the bookies got it wrong. This is a fight. I never bet early on fights. I always wait until weigh-ins. Not a damn thing at weigh-ins could change my mind. I think Romanov, without training for this fight, can win this fight. You're talking about a guy who's hungry, who's coming back off of that close decision loss, who wants to be up there at the top of heavyweight. You know Romanov just saw Cyril Gane get smushed and thought, wait, I can do that. I can do that too. And they're in these big $1 million fights for the title. I can do that. Romanov is a beast. Quit forgetting about him. King Kong dominates this fight. It won't be close. This is one of my most confident picks of the year, and it's a close fight on the odds. Come on, King Kong all day.
Not as close as it was earlier in the week. It's gotten wider. Minus 150 Romanov, plus 145 Volkov. Romanov to win by sub is sitting at plus.
This should be wider than Hamzat versus Gilbert Burns. This should be wider.
You think it's like minus 800 wide?
Why would Volkov be able to grapple with Romanov?
No, he won't be able to. It's more if he survives on the ground, and then Romanov, the concern would be the gas tank gives out, and then Volkov's able to starch him later.
Volkov is not big in the starching department. I mean, let me see here.
The Rosenstruik KO, I guess that's the one that comes to mind. He touched up Rosenstruik, but that's a pure striker who's not threatening with any takedowns. Yeah,
exactly right. Tom Aspinall was able to take him down and submitted him at first round. Exactly. You know, and you know, generally with like a good grappler, Curtis Blades was able to out wrestle.
They did go 5 though with Curtis. That's the only. I guess the concern, the reason I don't think the odds are crazy wide. The concern is going to be, okay, Romano he's shown, holy fuck, he can get a hold of you and beat you up and throw you around, but he hasn't shown that he can go long in fights. He even wasn't looking great later against Juan Espino. So the gas tank is the Romanov question mark. Yep. If you're talking about him putting the pressure on, he should. So Romanov, the pick for me and you both with confidence. The only reason you don't see him at a bigger line is because that Tybura fight showed the gas tank's the concern. Still went, the full 3.
How many times have we seen Volkov tired? I mean, he lost to Derek Lewis basically because he was really tired and really slow and able to be tagged pretty simply, right? Volkov's gas tank is not impressive to me either. And Volkov off of his back, I got to interview Volkov way back in the day, maybe 8 years ago now. It was at Bellator, and I remember standing next to him and seeing how tall he was and being like, damn, maybe this heavyweight could do something. And the more I've seen him fight, the more you can tell that these other heavyweights are a little faster. He's a little clunky. I know the striking is relatively, you know, it's UFC level. It's good striking. He's a guy you can get a hold of, man. Romanov is going to be quicker, stronger, much better at wrestling. When he gets to the top position, I think he'll dominate this fight. I think this will be a one-sided ass whooping, and Romanov will be swinging the hammer. Give me King Kong. It's a confident pick, my friend.
Let's go. Mike Finch and I both riding Romanov for the win. Let's get to our main event of the evening. If you guys haven't, smash the hell out of the like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Shout out to everybody watching, the live viewers and the replay gang. Mad love for all you guys. Jan versus Dvalishvili. I love the matchmaking. Dvalishvili is right at the top of the division, but as long as Aljo holds the belt, he has no interest in fighting for the title. So that's something just interesting to know. Petr Yan, I know, is motivated as fuck to get back to the top. Controversial-ish loss with Sean O'Malley. He probably deserved the nod, but it was close as fuck, and O'Malley looked good. Lost to Aljo. He got backpacked. He couldn't get out of that position. He beat Corey Sandhagen before then. Lost to Aljo by DQ previously to that. Dvalishvili has great wrestling, and he's got amazing chain wrestle. He'll hold you against the cage as long as possible. But he doesn't have that backpack like an Aljamain Sterling. And Petr Yan is still a good wrestler in his own right defensively. Yes, more kickboxing, but he was throwing Aljo so nasty in their first fight. And forget about the Petr Yan grappling skill set. So I'm going to pick Petr Yan to win by knockout. I think he's going to sleep Marab. Not like maybe flat out cold, but I do think he gets the hands on him and can work towards a KO. Wouldn't blow my mind if it went to full 5 and Yan took the rounds 3, 4, 5. 1, 2 is interesting with Dvalishvili's wrestling. So to me, it's if you're going the Dvalishvili side, you really got to see that he can pin Yan against the cage and or take him down and control that spot for a while and not be stood up either. Because note this, last weekend, we saw a lot of quick stand-ups. This is in front of an audience. This isn't at the Apex. It's at the theater. It's like the theater at Virgin Hotels. So I looked at the venue. I dug into this. I believe it's the 25-foot octagon. I'm like 90% sure. The venue is small, but there's still going to be fans in attendance. So I don't know. The refs in Vegas seem pretty quick, like to stand shit up these days. I don't know if you saw that this weekend. Some stand.
Joe Rogan was so mad.
Yeah. So I feel like Dvalishvili's whole game needs to be upon control time, and Yan can do the significant damage. I'm going for the more damaging fighter. I'm going Yan by KO.
Fuck. Such a good fight. Yan is on this skid, and it's like you wonder how this champion Petr Yan will handle having another top contender. You know, the UFC did not do him any favors with this matchup, man. I mean, Merab is, he's right up there. It's like it's almost like they're setting him up for an L, like Merab's takedowns are phenomenal. He's going to keep on grappling. Merab seems like a 5-round fighter to me, as to where we've seen Petr in 5-round fights, and that would be like a normal advantage for him. But we've seen him, lose some of those positions, get stuck in a body triangle, be a little defensive at moments. Petr Yan knows how to pace himself for a 5-round fight. I do think either way you pick this fight, I think it's going to go 5 rounds. So I'm super hesitant to give a pick. I will in a second, but my pick for this one is that it'll go late. Like, these guys are really competitive. I think that Merab is a good wrestler, but he doesn't have enough to finish Petr. I think Petr is a dangerous striker, a good striker, but will it be enough to finish Merab? Definitely not early. At least that's the way I see it. If Petr was to get a finish with his hands, I would guess it would be in the championship round. So if there's an over under you could read me, that would be excellent. In getting into the weeds on this one, who will win this decision? I could imagine Merab taking some rounds here, not just by shooting takedowns and getting them, by the way, but just by shooting takedowns and using that fence. They're in the smaller cage, which actually kind of works for both of their styles. Petr Yan likes to box right in here, right? He shells up real tight, and he wants you to kind of hit him in the shoulders and the forearms, and then he'll come back with his own shots. So it'll probably be actually just more fun in the small cage because they'll engage more. You'll see Merab shoot a couple more takedowns because of the real estate, and you'll see Petr Yan get a couple more shots off because of the real estate. I'll go with you. I'll go Petr Yan, but I don't like the bet. I don't like the bet on Petr Yan. If I'm interested in touching this fight, I think they go all 5 rounds. I think they're both durable. I think it's a close fight. It's a good fight. Merab is a tough test. I see some people in the comments dropping, MMA Jesus was dropping Merab lock. Like, look, man, Merab's a problem. And the matchup, they're catching Petr at a time where he kind of could use an easier fight to bounce back with. It's a tough one, man. I'll double up with you on Yan, and this is why. I think Jan's a better striker. I think Jan's pretty damn hard to take down. That should be enough. Yan decision.
Jan decision. Respect, Mike Finch. We're both on Jan. He is a large favorite at minus 245. Merab
Damn.
Dvalishvili plus 250.
245.
Yeah.
Change
yeah.
my pick to Marab. No, look, hey, those odds are kind of wide. Those are a little wide, dude.
Yeah, no, it's listen, I think Giannis has more offensive tools. Dvalishvili's game is built upon this control. Marlon Moraes dropped him. Jose Aldo got held against the cage by him. I don't know. I'm not really on the Merab bandwagon right now. I think he's a dangerous guy and beats a lot of the back end of the top 10. I think he's a very difficult matchup. But Jesus, man, I need him to get knocked the fuck out because I don't like the style of just clinch fest. And that Aldo fight has a bad taste in my mouth still. It's not good for the sport, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Jan to KO him. We need Jan back at the top 2 because I think a Jan versus Cejudo fight down the line is still very possible. And that fight's interesting as hell.
Did you see him scrapping the back real quick for fun? You saw that?
Yeah.
Come on, that shit is fun. Yeah, man, that is interesting, dude. I want to see that fight too. You know what was interesting? Who just dropped in here? They just said Jan asked for this fight. Hilario Celis, Jan asked for this fight. Is that true? Petr, are you out of your mind?
I think he's got this, Finch. I think he does.
But why Merab? Like, bro, you go on this little skid. You want
the Russian way, brother. Russian way. Give me the best guy. Give me the best guy. I take his head. That's why I love Petr. That's why he's gonna win. He doesn't want an easy fight. Give me the best guy, and I'm gonna knock him out. And it's the teammate of the champ. Hey, I knock your boy out. You want to do it a third time? I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. You got me on Jan, but I don't like those odds, boys. I don't like those odds. I think Merab is better than that, dude. I think this is a very close, very good fight. And Merab, probably the better wrestler. Petr Yan pretty hard to take down, and Petr Yan can work well on the inside. I think maybe better than Jose, definitely a better gas tank than Jose, energy management than Jose, and those things will come up clutch in a 5-round fight with Merab in that little cage. It'll be a fun one, dude. I'll be counting my cash from the Romanov fight and enjoying it.
This card is fucking tremendous, actually. If you look top to bottom, like this is not pay-per-view, but it could be pay-per-view. I mean, Jan could somehow in some universe be the champion at bantamweight, and Dvalishvili could be the number 1 contender. Like, I love this card. Like, they're bringing the heat, and I love that we're in front of an audience at a small venue. Give me those nostalgic vibes back. I want it, man. Like way back when we were doing it at the Pearl at the Palms and shit. I think there's a nice touch. I like that feel. It's like a little smaller, but still a tremendous event. I think it's going to be a lot of fun at the theater. I wish I was there.
I know AJ really has been hyped on this card all week. You texted me that. Yeah. I heard you say it on your other show. Like, you really do like these matchups. Yeah, there's a bunch of fun matchups for sure. For sure.
No, after a pay-per-view, I'm always like, fuck, what is this next card going to be? And this one, I'm like, I like a lot of these matchups more than the fights on the prelims, to be honest with you. I like these.
Yeah, you just see Superman Spann and Nikita Krylov are just mixed into the main card, Right. So, and that was the main event a couple weeks ago. So yeah, this one's got some power on it for sure. Petr Yan and Merab are very high level, So we're in for some treats for sure. Definitely interested to see these fist fights. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. AJ, do you want to drop some locks and parlays, bro?
I do, my man. Let's get to the lock of the night. Lock of the night for UFC Las Vegas, Jan versus Dvalishvili. As always, Mike Finch, I got to let you take the floor. Even though I think the people already know, I'd like to let you take the floor, my man.
AJ in post, he'll drop all the topics and whatnot all the way through. So some people just go and click on lock of the night. But if you don't know, I'm going to tell you that I think the lock of the century is going to be King Kong Romanov taking out the tower that is Volkov. I do believe that Volkov is a decent kickboxer. I do believe that Volkov is very experienced. These things matter. But when Romanov puts his back on that canvas, he will dominate him from that position. The way Tom Aspinall was able to submit him, I think we'll see something very similar. Maybe a head and arm choke, maybe some sort of a key lock or a Kimura. You could imagine getting a hold of Volkov Volkov will be relatively simple in that small cage. If Volkov had the big cage to work, that would make a significant difference here. He is not going to have that luxury, and I do think that Romanov is being overlooked here. You know, he had a close fight where, yes, he gassed out a little bit as it went on with Marcin Tybura, but Marcin Tybura is much better at wrestling, and I would even say just the matchup is significantly different. I like King Kong in this fight, and I think the odds have it completely wrong. This is much more one-sided than a lot of the other matchups, including the main event. You're going to tell me that Petr Yan is twice the favorite that Romanov is over Volkov? I don't see it. I don't think Volkov is that dangerous. I think Romanov gets a hold of those big-ass hips, drags him onto the ground, and does what he wants with him in this fight. I got Romanov finishing him in the first round. Give me Romanov lock of the night.
Mike Finch with the Romanov lock of the night. I guess we didn't have an official rules meeting before this. Am I allowed to match your lock, Mike Finch?
Of course. Please double up. Please tell the fucking people what they should bet on, AJ. What's your favorite bet on this card?
So, okay, I want to let you guys know something, Mike Finch. Before this, I was considering going Dumas as the lock of the week.
As long as it ain't Volkov.
And I know that you were very much against me on that side, which made me sit down and think. I said, damn, my lock outside of that would obviously have been Romanov. Like, those are two high confidence picks. And then I asked myself this question. I said, okay, where do the fucking misses of the locks come when you try to back somebody that doesn't have proven experience against top level fighters? So knowing that Josh Fremd has been in the LFA fighting good competition, knowing Dumas has not, then I think, oh, the Tresean Gore fight. Tresean Gore went through the ringer of the Ultimate Fighter and definitely was tested hard. I want to go with you on the side of Romanov, and I'm going to do just that. In the back of my gut, do I feel one weird thing? It's, fuck, what happens if he can't finish Volkov? Does he somehow gas? Then I say, no, he'll get him down tired. He'll get him down tired because Volkov does not have the takedown and grappling defense of a Tybura. So we're going to ride the same side, Mike Finch, which I don't know if I've ever teamed it up. I didn't know if it was allowed, but we are going to allow it. I'm riding with Mike Finch. We got to go on the same side this week, my man. I think we're seeing it the right way. There's too much of an obvious hole, and then you have a prospect on the come up. We're going to go Romanov, but I am still thinking Dumas could be a potential bet as opposed to what you're thinking. I think Dumas is going to get Josh Fremd, man. So I guess for me, it's one lock right now. Maybe I'll fucking double it down and add a second one on this week's Best of Maybe. It's a money line lock. I'm joining my guy, Mike Finch. He got me to the Jedi, bro, to the light. He got me to the light. He took me out of the dark side, and we're going with the Romanov side to win. And probably on the ground, submission or knockout, ground and pound. Both are very possible. This is a fucking menace on top. And I'm not going to let the Tybura loss scare me from calling him the lock of the week. So lock of the week for Mike Finch and I both is going to be Alexander Romanov, my man. Let's go.
Come on. May the force be with you, AJ.
Thank you, Finch.
I know AJ likes this Dumas kid. I saw some of you in the chat. Yeah, Dumas. Okay, let's check out what Dumas's competition has looked like. I'm going to read you the records.
I know, it's scary.
Contender Series fight. 1-7, 1-2, 5-8, 1-0, 1-0, 9-5. Those were his victories. Okay, that's his 6-0 coming into Dana White's Contender Series. Come on, son. Josh has fought much better competition.
Yes.
I know Josh isn't a standout guy. Obviously Dumas can win this fight, but you're gonna bet on that? No, I'm betting on King Kong to get on top and maybe take a page out of Curtis Blade's book. Go Donkey Kong fists. Rain down on Volkov. I like Volkov. I'm not trying to hate on Volkov. I'm respecting the wrestling of Romanov, and I think everybody else will after Saturday as well.
After last Saturday, I think at heavyweight, if there's a very good fucking wrestler with some submissions, you know the side to go. There's path to victories against a lot of these guys, and it's on the ground. And we're going to see Romanov, I think, showcase it. But Tom Aspinall is a big name of a guy who's a really good grappler that Volkov fought.
Yep.
But even Curtis Blades, as much as we want to say he's a good wrestler, he had a great TKO ground and pound of a fucking Alistair Overeem. And he's, in a fight with Jairzinho Rosenstruik, and he's just holding him and controlling him. Romanov is a killer. He's a finisher. I'm going with you on Romanov. Mike Finch, we got to jump to the parlay.
All the competition that try to compete.
Stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time. It's time to make some money and let's throw it down on these fights. Mike Finch, it's parlay time. I got the calculator up. You know what I'm saying? So give me the Mike Finch parlay. What are you thinking this week, my friend?
You know what I wanted to start the parlay with was Abu Bakr Nurmagomedov. What happened to my man?
Sucks. He was going to be a win. He had that fight, bro, and he was a dog too. That was such a good pick, bro. I was so excited for that.
Me too.
Yeah.
What happened? You don't know?
The bookies called. They said, listen, we can't do it. We fucked up. Take it off the line.
They knew we were going to get him.
They knew. They injured Abukar, man. They sent a guy to his fucking hotel and he broke his neck or some shit.
The most lopsided fight on this card next to the Romanov fight is Mario Bautista. There's no way you could bet on Mario Bautista outright. So let's parlay him up with a more risky one. I like my guy Superman Spann. So we're putting Superman Spann and Mario Bautista together. Mario Bautista is your easy money, but you ain't getting much of it. Superman Spann, harder earned. I know my man Superman and Romanov. You know, some of my picks on this one, they're not third round guys, but they're first round guys. Okay, money line them. Give me Superman Spann, and then a damn near a sure thing, Mario Bautista.
Plus 180 for the Mike Finch parlay. I am thinking for my parlay what I like. I really feel like the side of JJ Aldrich has a real good shot. I think she's going to go out there.
MMA.
She's
Here he
goes.
goes.
Good, man.
Somebody warn him. Somebody get AJ. Get your boy.
We're throwing women's MMA on the slate, okay? We're going to go JJ Aldrich. We're going to go Mario Bautista. That right there brings us to minus 205. And then I think as you move up the card, I'm going to keep it on the safer side and make it with Romanov. It's plus 145. That to me is like the safety first play. But I don't want to bore anybody with that. So I think, a little bit of heat, then I'll add to it. Add in Austin Lingo for plus 490. Aldrich, Bautista, Lingo. That could potentially come through. Even though I'm reading it, I'm not liking it, man. I'm looking at this. I want to go crazy, Mike. I want to add in Dumas. I want to add in, let's see. Who else do I want to add in? Who am I fan? Vitor Petrino. That was the next pick. Plus 350.
That's a good one.
Petrino, Dumas, Bautista, Aldrich, plus 350. That's an interesting one. I like to do one without the fucking lock, too. I get fucking swayed by that. And the next thing you know, if you just put on the lock, you're not diversifying. We need diversity to be successful. You know what I'm saying, my brother?
Diversify your portfolio, open a Roth IRA, start saving for retirement now, folks, while the market's down. That's what we really want you to walk away from Moneyline today. Listen, I like that pick. Your boy's got a lot of power, and so I like you throwing his name in the hat there. That's pretty good. But a 4-fight parlay, bro, are you wilding out on us, bro? 4-fight parlay?
I hit one last week, but I added the over in the Arujel fight. So that one ended up coming through for me with, I'll be honest, off the top of my head, I don't have it, but we'll see. We'll see, my man. I think we're bringing the heat this week. Listen, Romanov is the lock of the week, and I honestly got to check these lines out right now. What are they sitting at? I'm looking at Bet Online. I want to see like the most accurate and most updated and most live odds there's ever been.
Yeah, man. The odds are just wrong on that one. So
Volkov is plus 442, Romanov minus 162. Mike Finch will throw a unit on him right now.
You're doing it?
I'm gonna do it right now before this hits minus 200. Let's go.
I was already on it, dude.
Yeah.
I was already on it. I'm like, you know what? Those odds were too. My odds were even a little bit better.
Yeah, it's better than mine. I fucked it, bro. I should have done it yesterday, bro. I just dude, what happens is after I do the full card predictions, I'm like, I need to fucking relax for a little while. I want to not think MMA. I just fucking want to go smoke and maybe watch a show. I don't know, go fucking eat some food. I get the hell out. And then I forget about it. The next day comes, boom, the lines are fucking terrible, So I got to get better at, as soon as I drop the picks, fucking go and bet the lock.
There it is. Well, and you say it all the time. I'm gonna wait till weigh-ins to see
like that a lot.
Generally, that's what I do too. I want to make sure they're not looking like they're half dead at weigh-ins, or when somebody misses weight, for instance. We just saw Mr. Neal miss weight by 5 pounds. Whenever I see that, I usually fade that person. When Paulo Costa missed weight against Marvin Vittori, when a lot of times when people miss weight, they fuck up the fight. And that's always a red flag for me too. But this is one of those rare ones where I saw those odds and I could not bust out the checkbook fast enough, man.
Let's go. Mike Finch, I like it, my guy. The picks are good. I like the show as always. We killed it, people. I hope you enjoyed another episode of the Moneyline. I believe this was the 62nd or 63rd. We'll do something big at 75. I'm keeping tracks with Mike Finch.
Could I real quick just hype up?
I know what you're gonna hype up, Mike.
You know what I'm gonna hype up? Tell the people what I'm gonna hype up.
Listen, Mike Finch, he brings up a good fight. It's Usman Nurmagomedov, Benson Henderson. I know you guys get after him when he brings up Bellator, but Usman's dangerous as fuck, and Benson's a legend. Listen, I am covering this Bellator card. I'm gonna drop picks for the main fights. I have to.
Yeah.
And I really think Usman Nurmagomedov, he's going to do the business to Benson. That's it.
Usman, so AJ, well, I shouldn't say what you said before we went live. I'll leave that to you. You guys can get AJ's pick from AJ. But I think Benson Henderson's an interesting matchup for Usman Nurmagomedov. Usman Nurmagomedov is very good at striking, but Benson Henderson is going to be a good look for him because Benson's been 5 rounds so many times. I think it's a totally different stylistic matchup from like a Patricky Pitbull who really waited on him a little bit. Benson Henderson is pretty damn active. And then if you look at the wrestling department, it's going to be pretty hard to control Benson. Benson's got some beautiful Granby rolls and some just gorgeous techniques defensively wrestling. It should be a fun 25-minute fight. We'll get to see a lot more of what Usman Nurmagomedov brings to the table. We all know he's a sniper from range. When you look on Instagram at Benson Henderson, it says once and future king. I'll tell you what, he's never been more motivated. Benson Henderson is the hardest worker in the room, man, over there at MMA Lab. He has been looking for this for years. He has been waiting for this title shot for a long time. Here he's got it now. And, he earned it, with the Peter Queally win and with what he's been accomplishing in Bellator. Islam, what's his last name? He beat one of the Dagestanis. I'm blanking.
Islam
Mamedov, thank you.
Yeah.
He was able to get the decision win over Islam Mamedov. So, I mean, he's dealt with these wrestlers before. Now we'll see him against a guy who could strike as well, blood related to Khabib Nurmagomedov. And I do believe that Usman Nurmagomedov is one of the best fighters in the world. It's just a proper test for him, man. Benson Smooth Henderson, still in his prime, albeit the tail end of his prime, is going to be a real test over 25 minutes for Usman Nurmagomedov. I think it's a super fun fight. Can't wait to see it. Bellator this weekend, and we got UFC fights. You gotta love it. And AJ and I are going to be diving into these. I know how hyped AJ is for the UFC card. It'll just be a cherry on top to see Usman Nurmagomedov, Benson Henderson,
and MVP is back in action versus Goichi Yamuchi. I like Goichi and MVP a lot, so I'll be talking about the big matchups, bro. With Bellator, I'm a little bit selective. This card gets my love. They get my.
Why do they keep giving MVP these grapplers, man?
They're trying to kill them. They're trying to send them to bare knuckle, baby. BKFC signing them next. That's it.
They give MVP Logan Storley, who all he did was shoot takedowns in that fight, and now they give him Goichi Yamauchi, who is the nicest human on earth and is actually got a beautiful knockout in his last fight over Neiman Gracie. But here he is against a real karate expert. I mean, MVP with the range and with the sniper kicks. I mean, he is a big problem. It'll be interesting to see how Yamauchi deals with it, because Yamauchi's pretty much cemented himself as the most dangerous grappler in Bellator next to Neiman, and his jiu-jitsu is so nasty. You could imagine all he would need is like one scramble on the ground, one takedown. Can he get it? It's only a 3-round fight. I'm super excited to see that one. Honestly, I think they kept MVP at the top of the division, even closer to the top than I thought. You would think, same thing with Petr Yan. It's like, for me, AJ, when these stars lose a fight, let them bounce back and then get that next fight. I feel like it's a tough matchup. So Goichi Yamauchi versus MVP, fun fight. One of those where it's like, it's two specialists, and it depends on where the fight takes place. That's all that matters, because MVP is so damn good at range, and Goichi Yamauchi is so damn good on the mat. They could both probably finish the fight in their departments.
Let's go. Mike Finch, my guy. Bellator this weekend, UFC this weekend. Beautiful violence every damn weekend, baby. I love it. Much love to the people watching. Shout out to the people in the live chat. Shout out to the people viewing. Shout out to the replay gang. I see Game All Night. He is 6-fight parlay. Shout out to him. Thank you guys all. He hit it, bro. Thank you guys all for watching. We appreciate the continued support, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace out, my people. And I'll see you this week's Best of May Bets tomorrow. And listen, I got to hype the Fight Companion before I close the thing. Fight Companion, Saturday. Don't miss it. 3 p.m. Eastern time start. The entire UFC Las Vegas Jan versus Dvalishvili fight card. Peace, guys. We'll see you soon.